Hello, everybody that's sitting there, probably surfing around on YouTube, whatever comes across my video. Today, we'll be looking at Command and Conquer. This would be a replay against me and my father. I thought a replay would be the best way to do it for people that don't know or would like to check out Command and Conquer themselves. So let's get into this. This match we chose, which you can clearly see the map up here. It's like kind of divided by like a river. You kind of got only like 3 ways to get through here, unless you decide to go through air. But we'll get into that later. This right here, the red nod, would be me, your good old boy Rusty, and down towards the southeast, I would believe it'd be classified as, is the yellow GDI, and that would be my father. I started out with a crane here. The reason is, when you go to build anything, you can only build one structure at a time for each building, each MCV or crane you have. So if you have the MCV and a crane, you can have one building build here and another one over here. So that way it makes it easier and everything, and you don't have to worry about it. That's cool. I didn't know that I could switch that where you guys see that. Okay, so on my display here, you could see that the different types of structures. Now, the thing is with Command and Conquer, each structure has its own properties, especially when it comes to factions. Factions, there's like originally there was only 2 of them until up to now there's Skrin, but I think after 3 they went over to 4, and I don't think Skrin's in 4. But NOD and GDI and Skrin, they all 3 have their own abilities, their own units, their own everything. What defies them is basically their structures and how their units are meant to be played. Like, for example, GDI is a powerhouse. Their main strengths are mainly ground forces. Their air forces ain't too bad, but they're pretty good when you need to be when you need to push through and you really want to get aggressive. NOD, on the other hand, it's more of a stealth team, which later in the game you'll see that I didn't play stealth. I went straight into trying to be somewhat aggressive because I didn't want to be stealth. I want to see how it would work, which it don't work too bad because if you know how to play your cards right. But anyways, this is my this would be the MCV construction yard, mobile construction yard. You can always pack it up by using this icon, and what it's mainly for is building your structures, your base defenses, stuff like that. Now, the most important thing to all of this is your power plants. Hold on, let me see if I can't fix this. Yes, okay. So over in here, we're looking at my screen here, my big old play, because you can look through my structures and stuff. Over here, there's a green bar with a white line. What this indicates is how much power you have. It shows right there.
Construction complete.
Energy production is 55, and I was using only 36 of that of my power. If that white line exceeds my green bar, which would be my power, basically that's not good. It would mean I'm low on power. My base defenses would shut down, wouldn't have nothing to power them. My structures would build very, very slowly. I'm pretty sure the units would be the same way. Yeah, so it's always best to make sure you keep up on your power. Now over here you can see we're collecting green crystals, which is classified as Tiberium. Tiberium is a rock back in GDI, Command & Conquer lore, a rock that hit Earth and spread it out all through the planet. It's a type of crystal that's very toxic, to humans. But anyways, vehicles and stuff can drive through it. Make sure if you are using NOD or GDI, do not run your troops straight through there, and because it slowly kills them off.
Construction complete.
But what you always want to do is this is how I usually do it. You can find your own strategy or whatever. But how I usually do it is I'll build a... Let me fix this so I don't have him up interrupting. I'll build a crane so that way I can build more than one structure so I can get my power plant and my harvester. Now the harvester's job, which would be refinery, is where it comes with the refinery. The harvester's job is to collect the Tiberium. The Tiberium would be your economy. Now the good thing about this is Tiberium, it will grow back. It's very slow, but it will grow back. So if you ever deplete a field, yes, try to advance to another field so that way you can still have a steady income. But on the other hand, you always want to keep an eye on your own, so that way your own field that's closest to base, so that way you don't have to go so far out or build so far out to get to it. The barracks, of course, is for your infantry. War factories for your vehicles. Now, the thing is also with these, I'll show you here in a sec. Let me get back over here. In NOD structures, I have a power plant, refinery. I've already covered the barracks and war factory. Now, operations center. It will give you icons on your left screen, which it will tell you right here. It gives you a decoy army, a radar jammer missile, and cloaking field, which I'll explain a little bit later on what they do and everything. But operations center is very important because certain structures you can't build without building the other. So if I wanted to build a war factory, I couldn't build it straight away. I had to build a power plant and a refinery at least. If I think that's correct. I don't know if a barracks has to be in there or not. But I know you have to build a power plant and a refinery at least. To build a tech lab,
Construction complete.
you would have to have an operations center. A tech lab, what it does is let you access your other structures you can't normally access, like for example the Tiberium chemical plant and your advanced base defenses like the Obelisk of Light. Now what it does, it powers up and shoots a highly dense laser that does massive damage. It's pretty nice. Let's see here. The air, of course, when I said air earlier, that'll come into play. You can make airfields. Airfields carry at least 4 we'll just call them airplanes. You can call them fire jets, aircrafts, whatever you'd like. What they do is you can, they carry some bombs on them. You can go drop them off, you know, destroy enemy structures, normal stuff like that. Or they also give you an option for certain aircraft, switch the ammunition over to, like for example on GDI, you could switch it over to, I'm trying to think the name of it. Hold on, let me get over here.
Construction complete.
Okay, so over here on GDIs, I don't think my dad has a... No, he don't. So anyways, under their airfield, it's actually called airfield. Here we go. You can make Firehawks. Firehawks has 2 types of deployments on ammunition. Ammunition-wise, on
funds.
If you want to drop bombs on a structure, you have to have one. But they're also strong against aircrafts. You can switch the ammunition over to regular missiles where they fire at aircrafts. They're actually very well. Orcas, they're another type of aircraft for the GDI. They are good for seeking out stealth vehicles, or just a quick way to go in and bombard some vehicles and get out.
Training. Construction
let's
complete.
See here. Let's get back off of here. That way we view everything. But anyways, you can see I have a steady income right here. I usually like to go with more than one harvester, which you can see up the map here we're going to come to. I have 2 harvesters down here collecting this Tiberium. Now, this structure back here reason I said earlier that NOD was a stealth team is because they technically are. This is a distribution. I can't pronounce it. Tower. What it does is it cloaks any units, buildings, or base defenses within a radius. But anything that leaves that radius is exposed. Which that's, if I ain't mistaken, I think that's the only one I've more than I don't think I used any more than one. I'm pretty sure I used more than one because I'm pretty sure this got attacked, but I ain't too for sure. Over here, of course, the towers I was talking about. These are shredder turrets that I pushed right in here. There's two different types of turrets. You got shredder turrets and then you got laser turrets. Laser turrets are good for vehicles only. I wouldn't recommend trying to use them on infantry. You're just going to have a bad day. Shredder turrets anyways, they could destroy men like it's nothing. I mean, he could send a squad, come up, bam, dead, instant. Anyways, operations tower, and then you're able to build your tech center, which gets you far into there, which gives you your advanced vehicles as well. Also, when you go to your tech center and your well, NOD has secret shrine and GDI has an armory, but they both do, like I say, they all have their own upgrades and stuff. It ain't all the same. But anyway, it's like, for example, if you go to the secret shrine, you can unlock upgrades for your men. Like, for example, NOD, you can infuse Tiberium with your troops, so that way they're able to move through Tiberium. They're invulnerable to the Tiberian radiation. It's very useful. The Confessor basically gives a Confessor leader. It increases the combat, efficiency for your units. Let's see here. Of course, you see I'm building some stuff here. Let's go down here so I can explain some stuff for GDI. See, you can see my dad, on the other hand, he went with a whole different approach. He has some tanks here, has a few over here, went with some air batteries, I see. AA turrets, I'm pretty sure they're all... No, AA batteries, my bad. And an airfield with 4 Firehawks, which are pretty dangerous because they pack a punch. Like I said earlier about the Tiberium regrowing, you can see clearly right here where it just regrowed some. But when he takes this out, or if you, I mean, even if it's in your shoes and you went played on this map and you cleared this out, it's always best try to aim for here. Try to collect whatever you can here. Do not, though, I do recommend, do not drag them from all the way up here or over here. Try to do a different approach, which like I say, it's been a while since my dad played. I'm not down talking to him or nothing. I talked to him earlier, tried to help him, but he wanted to run it this way. And I told him that's fine, it's how he wants to do it. But what you could do is you can bring there is a unit called, let me find it real fast. There is a unit called Surveyors that are on GDI. What they do is they are like a mini, I wouldn't say an MCV, but it's more like an outpost. What it does, it unpacks and gives you a build radius around that vehicle. It's very useful, especially if you're trying to get behind enemy lines or a little bit closer without getting detected. Because with something that small, it's easier to avoid enemies or at least try to hide behind structures. I see he went with some rocket troops here. Like I said, where they had their own structures, you can see these structures are different. He has his refinery, his war factory, and his barracks. His tech center, his armory. Here's the armory I was talking about. Their upgrades are different. They go with, you can upgrade the armor for your troops, scanner packs for the zone troopers so they can detect No, 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 no. I don't want to say that. I want to say detect stealth. It just says right here increases. No, it detects stealth. Never mind. Yeah, it detects stealth and increases sight range. And in this one, if they're sitting still, sitting idle, they regain health. Over here, they get mortar upgrades, which goes to their pit bulls. They can shoot a good range. Railgun upgrade is very useful. Instead of shooting regular bombs out of the turrets of the tanks, they shoot like these high-power lasers, and they do damage. Of course, you see right here the straight to fighter upgrade. What it does is it will allow him to take these if he had an area cleared up here, and instead of having to fly over, he could put one push of a button. They'll go up off screen and drop down here. I think it takes a good 5 seconds, and they're automatically over there. What else? Then after that, we have sensor pod upgrade. Now, what the sensor pod does, of course, he don't have them. You have to have orcas for them. The orcas will shoot down a pod. They'll stay there for a good while. I can't remember how long. And they'll basically, NOD has a. Let me find them. They're harvesters. Their harvesters are stealth. They always have stealth on them. You can take them anywhere. Enemy can't detect them unless they have some unit or some way in that area to detect stealth. Now, here's the thing. If this harvester would manage to come near one of those sensors, it would immediately pick it up and he would be able to see my unit. Over here, you can see I crafted, of course, the Tiberium chemical plant. It's very, very useful for NOD. And I was building some Venoms. They're my anti-air and infantry. They're very good to handle, well, of course, and other aircrafts and vehicles, which you can see my dad coming in here with some aircrafts. He's been a little nosy and snooping. I tried to make sure I had plenty of anti-air turrets to take care of them. They're called SAM sites for NOD. But if you ever go to try to use the Venoms for anything else, the aircrafts, of course, are right here. They're not very good against vehicles. I mean, you can use them in vehicles, but if you do against vehicles, but if you do, I recommend them to be at least in a decent sized group, because if not, they're just going to get slaughtered. Of course, you can see I got Vertigo bombers. They're exactly like the Firehawks, but the only difference is they don't do what they do. They have to fly, but they're stealth. But they do fight against anti-air. They're just not very strong against it. Let's go ahead and go into the tabs bar over here that I was talking about. Okay, so earlier when I explained the decoy army, I could basically click this, go over any of my troops that are on the ground, which I'll show you because it'll later in the game, I'm pretty sure I used it. You can hover any of your army, click it, click anywhere else to place it. They'll pop there immediately. And then all you would have to do is move them. They are very weak because they're not the real thing. It's just like a decoy. Like I say, it's literally in the name. It's just decoy. And you use those to scout out areas to find out what's going on. The radar jammer, you click it, which of course also it tells you how much it costs, which of course the decoy army would be 500. Radar jammer missile is 750. And what the radar jammer missile does is it temporarily shuts down the enemy's radar. Like, for example, their map, which is what it is. If I'd use it, GDI's map would be gone, wouldn't be there. They wouldn't be able to see it for a good bit. Catalyst missile, on the other hand, that's a very, it's good in cases of you want to attack their economy. It's $2,000 to use it, but it's really useful. You can Let's see here. So basically, if let me find it. Okay, there's my refinery. So if I wanted to attack
Building captured.
the economy real bad, all I'd have to do is click the missile and click above the refinery. Anything that has Tiberium in it, on it, or near it will get destroyed instantly. Now, on the other hand, if you just want to attack whatever is hiding inside the Tiberium field, like for example, if your enemy has any kind of harvesters in there, clicking. I recommend you can click anywhere, but I recommend the center for the most effective way. I mean, that's the way I view it. I mean, I don't know if it makes it effective or not, but click it, it'll drop the missile and it'll spread like a little firestorm and do some damage to nearby enemies. This right here, I might as well go ahead and explain that. What that was a seed Tiberium. What it does is 500 to do it. It takes a great while for it to recharge. Basically what it does is just drops off a missile and it spreads out into a good patch of Tiberium. It's a good way to also try to keep your economy going if you're playing as NOD. Mine drops. They're 1500, but they're decent if there ain't no stealth detecting units or structures nearby. You can use those to lay down, and any enemy comes across them will basically explode and do damage. Tiberium Vapor Bomb, it's just it's basically the aircraft that you just saw come in. Instead of dropping that, it'll drop another missile, it'll spread out to like a mist, and it'll evaporate into a big fire and do like I wouldn't say a lot of damage unless it's infantry. Tanks and stuff, I say it's like very little. But right there it shows it's 3,500. It's quite expensive just alone. It's more expensive than the Catalyst missile. The Shadow Strike team, I don't really use them. I mean, it's up to you. They're a stealth unit. They're infantry. What they do is they can either fly or walk on ground. They are really good. Well, I wouldn't say really good nor very good, but they are good indeed against structures, because what you can do is you can use those to sneak behind enemy lines, land them, and they have an icon where you can basically, it's like attaching a bomb to a structure and it just explodes instantly, but it does damage. It does pretty good damage to structures. But they're also good against infantry. They're because of their fire rate. Cloaking field. It's 3,000 even, but it is pretty decent. You can rather cloak your vehicles, or you can just do a good amount of damage to your enemy infantry. Now, if you do use it on your infantry, it will cause damage, if not kill them. It'll do the same to your enemies as well. Of course, you can see I made more Virgo bombers and stuff like that. I came down here. Here's a defense tower. In the game, there'll be defense towers and stuff like that you can collect. Defense tower will just shoot enemy vehicles and units that comes near it. At that time, I just thought it'd be useful, especially against vehicles. Over here is a Tiberium spike. And what those are, depending on the map, if they're on there or not, they'll give you can see plus 25. It's basically what it's doing. It's giving 25 dollars to my money itself. They are good if you're just needing money. Over here, I tried to come in, and clearly you see the mammoth tanks. And fourth, the tech center that's down here. The tech center will the tech center literally lets you build your advanced vehicles. Now, GDI's advanced vehicles are mammoth tanks and juggernauts. Well, juggernauts, I don't think, yeah, I can. Juggernauts are here. They're 2,200, very, very powerful. But I'll go through all the different infantries in a bit. I want to make sure I cover everything. But other than that, yeah, you want to make sure you have a steady income, power plants, you need your tech center to be able to build your advanced units. You can build base defenses if you want to. You don't have to. I just do it so to be on the safe side. Avatars, they are the NOD's advanced unit. Now, power plants, you can see I have finally got these little green spheres. You don't get to upgrade your power plants until after you get your tech center, because you can upgrade them one step further, and I'm pretty sure it doubles the power output. Let's see here. Opposite lines, stuff like that. Structures. Oh, NOD structure. Here we go. Okay, so instead of the surveyor, it's called an emercy, and it does the same thing. Just unpacks into a little outpost to be able to build around.
Construction complete.
Tiberium silos, that's what I was talking about. If anything had Tiberium in it for the catalyst missile. Silos are useful. It increases the amount of money you can have. Henceforth in the description, stores Tiberium allows a greater maximum reserve, which increases your money, which is very, very useful. Your economy needs to be very strong if you're going to make a good decent army to fight or counter attack. We'll just go ahead and go over structures. NOD's power plant gives them power. NOD's refinery, of course, collects the Tiberium. The hand of NOD is the barracks. It gives you your infantry. War factory makes your vehicles. Operations center allows you to build the other structures that you wouldn't normally be able to build. Air tower lets you build your aircrafts. Sacred shrine lets you build your lets you upgrade your units, and then let you build chateau team strike. When I can't get that right. Which again, I went over the label over here. Then you got your tech lab, which unlocks higher tech units and structures, which I just explained. And then you can also upgrade your Raider buggy with EMP coils, which what it'll do is any structures, enemy structures near, or units that are near, like vehicle wise, not infantry, but vehicle wise, that you want to stop in place. They can do that with the EMP coils. You just push one click of a button and boom, they're shut down for a good bit. Scorpion tanks, they get dozer blades. What the dozer blades do is it basically allows the tanks to run over infantry, I believe. I'm not too far sure. I'm pretty sure if I click it, it would explain it more. It says upgrade all Scorpion tanks with dozer blades, allows Scorpions to clear mines and crush heavy infantry. So yeah, it lets them also clear mines. And then you got your Tiberium chemical plant, and what it does is it lets you have your Tiberium vapor bomb, seed Tiberium, and catalyst missile. Now there are super weapons in this game, like for example, NOD has a nuke, GDI has an ion cannon, and Skrin has a black hole, which I'll go and I'll maybe do a video over Skrin to let you guys see their weapons. NOD, theirs is the Temple of NOD. They just build a temple, and their temple basically has two functions: firing a nuclear missile after a time limit exceeds, or you can click on the little computer icon beside the picture on the bottom right hand corner, which you can see where it says Tech Lab. It'll say Master Temple of NOD instead. And what the computer does is, if any of my structures was EMP'd, I'd click that and it should un-EMP them if I ain't mistaken. Unit wise, NOD has the militia squad, which is only good against infantry. Then you got your rockets against vehicles. Engineers, saboteurs, which is called engineer for GDI. They saboteurs can rather capture enemy buildings, set booby traps inside structures, call for transport, capture walker husks, which is henceforth the juggernaut that I was talking about. Because after they get destroyed, they don't fully destroy, they just lay over. You can capture them for yourself. They can also repair bridges and buildings if have to. They also have fanatics, and what they do, they're like, they're like, basically it shows right there, it's suicide infantry. It's just a suicide squad. They have bombs strapped on them, and they run off and run to the enemies and just blow themselves up. The Black Hand, they are just a unit with nothing but flamethrowers. They're good against the infantry and structures, especially clearing out structures. If there's an enemy garrisoned inside of a structure, use them. They can kill them out instantly, and then you can use the structure for yourself. Shadow Team, they're stealth. That's what I was explaining earlier about the tab on the left over them. They have the glider pack, which allows them to fly, and then the explosive charge that they can use against structures. Now, also, all factions also have their own commander. Well, the commando for NOD is a female, and she's an elite infantry. She's good against infantry and structures. She's also stealthed. She can destroy structures and walkers, and call for transport. Now, when I mean destroy structures and walkers, I mean like if I had one, I wanted to attack one of these avatars. Instead of shooting them, she'd run up, plant a bomb on them, and they'd die like that. It goes same for structures. They do decently damage, especially if they're a star rank or a hero rank. I can't remember what it's called. They do a lot of damage. NOD vehicles, they have an attack bike that's good against aircrafts. It fires rockets. I mean, you can use them against enemy vehicles, but they're not very strong on health wise. They're good for a scout vehicle though. Raider buggies, they're good against infantry and aircrafts. Scorpion tanks, they're good against enemy vehicles. That's just flat out what they're used for. You can make more harvesters if have to. The MCV, which you can see right here, you can make more of those once you get up there in your tech. Flame tanks, they're just basically a big old tank with flamethrowers on them. They are good to kill infantry and structures. That's about it. Stealth tanks, they are good against vehicles and aircrafts, and what they are, they're stealth, of course, but what they do is they fire rockets. Like, it's almost like a SAM site, but like double of them, and multiple rockets just fire at once. They do pretty good damage, but not very good health. It's more of a hit and run vehicle. And then you got beam cannon. It's a vehicle with a laser on its back, and they are very good for long range. You can use them to take out vehicles and structures. Now, the good thing about them is that they have a thing where you can, if you have more than one, they'll combine their beams and do more damage than what they're normally outputting. But you can also have it reflect the beam off of an aircraft. So if I had my Venom flying over an area that I needed to hit something, I can have the beam cannon fire a laser at my Venom. It'll bounce off the bottom of it and hit wherever I'm wanting to hit. Then avatars, they have two functions, but anyways, they're the advanced unit I was talking about. They are good against vehicles and structures. That's about it, unless you upgrade them. That's about the second thing they're good for. You can upgrade them with a attack bike, flame tank, stealth tank, and beam cannon, like you can see here. And what it does, it gives it different abilities. Like, for example, if you get it from a flame tank, they get a flamethrower. If you take apart from a stealth tank, it gets it basically gets stealth. It gets that a stealth generator off of the stealth tank. Attack bike, it's able to detect stealth. And then beam cannons, it gets a secondary laser on its other hand. And after you get all those, it becomes a pretty decent vehicle to use against enemies. And especially with that flamethrower, it basically makes it good against infantry, especially if they're real close up on the vehicle, the avatar.
Beam cannon ready for engagement.
It'll barbecue them. Aircrafts for NOD, it's just the Venom, which you see them flying around. I have them doing a perimeter. And then the Virgo bombers, which I just described in depth earlier about. Let's go over to GDI and explain some of their stuff. So, structure-wise, they get a power plant, a refinery, a barracks, a war factory, a command post, an airfield, an armory, a tech center, a space command uplink, and then their crane, which he didn't build a crane. The power plant, of course, gives you your power you need to supply your base. The refinery, of course, it is a way for you to be able to start your economy. The barracks is for your infantry. The war factory is for your vehicles. The airfield's for your aircraft. And the tech center is for to upgrade your vehicles, and the armory's upgrade for your infantry.
Bridge repaired.
And the space command uplink is what it's for is to you can sorry if I'm stuttering.
Unit under attack.
What it does is it allows you to
Unit lost.
drop zone troopers and do shockwave artillery. Now, shockwave artillery is a EMP bombardment. It fires EMP bombs onto whatever your target is and disable the structures or vehicles for a short period of time. Stormtroopers, I'll go into them because they're in the barracks. I'll explain what they are and what they're for. Of course, the crane is for an extra structure production crew, you know, so that way you can build more than one structure. The GDI infantry units are the riflemen. They have their own little functions. They're way different than NOD's.
Training.
They're good against infantry. That's about it. But they have the ability to call in transport or dig in. Now, dig in is an action they can take. You can have them build like a little bunker, like their own little structure they can sit in, and it has another section where you can add another unit in there with them. So that way, if you wanted riflemen and a rocket launcher team in there, they can all sit there in the same structure. And then, of course, you got the missile squad, which is the rocket team I was talking about. They're good against vehicles and aircraft. Their engineer, which is, you know, they're good for capturing structures and walkers and repairing stuff is basically it. They get grenader squads. Instead of flamethrowers, they get grenaders. The grenaders are real good at clearing out structures themselves. So if your enemy had any kind of units inside
Enemy units sighted.
inside of a building, you would use them to clear them out instantly. They're good against infantry and structures.
Silos needed.
Give me 1 minute to get me something to drink, and we'll get back right to this. Sorry about that, my mouth is dry. Anyways, the grenaders are good against structures and infantry. and clearing out garrison units. Sniper team. Now they have their ups and downs. They're a good squad to have. What they're mainly good for is against infantry, that you can use them to take out enemy units easily. Infantry units anyways. But on the other hand, the Juggernaut units, which we'll get into after I get done with the barracks, they are artillery vehicle. They shoot long range, but with the right combo, they can shoot from here all the way up to my base. And the reason is they can spot targets. So they could be back here and the sniper team be up here by my base, and one click of a button, they could fire from back here up here to my base and destroy something. Their commander, or commando,
Enemy unit sighted.
is good against infantry and structures. It's about the same as Nods, but the only difference is he's not stealth. Instead, he has jetpacks on the back, so that on his back, so that way he can jump over
Unit
certain
under
barriers
attack.
and stuff like that. Other than that, he uses
Silos
bombs
needed.
and a machine gun. Zone troopers. What I was explaining earlier about the zone trooper drop. What it is they're good against
Building.
vehicles and structures. Not very good. I mean, they're not technically supposed to be used on infantry. I mean, you can, but I haven't, which I barely use them in the first
Construction
place.
complete.
They got jetpacks just like the commando. Jump over barriers is what they're for, and they can call for transport.
Building.
Let's go over to vehicles now. Vehicles, they get the pit bull, which is good for anti-air. That's it, and it detects
Construction
stealth.
complete.
And it also gets the call for transport. That is the vehicle I was talking about. That also gets the
Building.
mortar upgrade that I talked about earlier in the video. It just increases their firing
Construction
range,
complete.
basically.
Enemy unit sighted.
And then they got
Low power.
ooh. Then they got predator missiles, which
Building.
not predator missiles. I don't know where my mind went. Predator tanks. Predator tanks is basically their tank, their medium-sized tank. It's
Construction complete.
pretty good against structures and enemy
Silos
vehicles.
needed.
And then once, of course, you get the railgun upgrade, it switches over from that to the railgun that I was talking about earlier. APCs. Instead of buggies, they have APCs, and the APCs are good against infantry and aircraft, but they're also a transport vehicle. You can put any one of your units, infantry units, inside of it and transport it where you need to put it. They also place mines if have to.
Rifle squad ready.
And then, of course, you got your harvesters. So instead
Rifle
of
squad ready.
now, their harvesters are different than Nods. Nods, they have
Rifle
stealth
squad ready.
and then they collect Tiberium. GDIs, on their
squad
hand, they gather Tiberium, but instead of stealth, they
Rifle
have light
squad
machine
ready.
guns on them, so they can attack nearby units and stuff.
Rifle
Which
squad
they
ready.
don't do very
Training.
good damage unless it's infantry. Then they
Rifle
do
squad
somewhat
ready.
decent. Then you, of course, their
Rifle
MCV is
squad
their mobile construction yard.
Rifle
They
squad
get
ready.
a rig, a vehicle called rig.
Rifle
What it
squad
does
ready.
is it's like a battle base.
Rifle squad
It
ready.
it unpacks. It comes with two
Rifle squad ready.
anti-vehicle turrets with
Rifle squad
anti-air.
ready.
I don't think it.
Rifle squad ready.
I don't see it in the
Rifle
description,
squad
but I
ready.
don't think it detects stealth. But it is good to
Rifle
have
squad ready.
because say if you're out in the field and you have
Rifle
one of
squad
those
ready.
and your vehicles took damage. Well, if you unpack
Rifle
that,
squad ready.
it will repair your vehicles.
Mammoth take us.
Rifle squad ready.
Mammoth tanks, they're the advanced version of
Rifle squad ready.
their tanks. They're very strong, advanced
Rifle squad
vehicles and
ready.
structures. And of course they get the railgun
Rifle
upgrade.
squad ready.
Now, they do,
Rifle squad
Construction.
ready.
I want to say they do decent damage against infantry, but
Rifle squad ready.
I mean, I'm not too for sure because I don't really compare it.
Rifle squad ready.
But they can shoot They are
Rifle
kind of
squad
anti-air. They can shoot missiles at any kind of aircraft if have
Rifle
to.
squad ready.
Juggernauts. You can see he's about to build
Rifle squad
some.
ready.
They are the artillery units I was talking about earlier that can
Rifle
shoot
squad
very
ready.
long range. They are a pain in the
Rifle
butt,
squad
and they
ready.
do massive damage. I recommend if you fight
Rifle squad
GDI
ready.
or anybody that's playing as GDI,
Rifle squad ready.
please, I mean, I repeat, please take those
Rifle
out
squad
first, or
ready.
you're going to have a bad day.
Rifle squad ready.
Of course, their upgrades, I'm pretty sure I've went over those. Other than
Rifle
that,
squad ready.
I'm pretty sure I covered everything besides their tab
Rifle
over
squad
here.
ready.
And the difference between NOD and GDI, GDI can have reinforcement drops. So they get GDI airborne, bloodhounds,
squad ready.
and sharpshooters. And what it is
squad
is
ready.
you click this, any of these, and it'll a circle will pop up
Missile
on the
squad
ground.
ready
You
for
go
combat.
and choose your target. It'll be your landing zone. You click it, and 4 aircrafts of the GDI and Bloodbounds will come in, drop off the vehicles or the units, because GDI Airborne's is the units.
Enemy base sighted.
It comes with 2 veteran ranked riflemen and 2
Missile
veteran
squad
ranked
ready for combat.
rocket men. I ain't too for
Missile
sure
squad ready
on
for
the rank
combat.
wise. I'm trying to remember. Well, it says it right there. Yeah, veteran. So I did get it right.
Missile squad ready for
And then
combat.
Bloodhounds, instead of veteran units, it comes with veteran vehicles, 2 veteran pit bulls and 2 veteran APCs. Sniper or sharpshooters, it comes in with only 3 aircrafts, and that is just 3 aircrafts with 3 sniper
Missile squad
units in
ready
it.
for combat.
Radar scan. It's if you play
Missile
as
squad ready for combat.
GDI, it's useful. What it does, it will detect any kind of stealth units and reveal them to you. And it's a good way to discover certain things if you're trying to look around the map. Like, for example, if you're trying to see what's going on in your enemy's base, you click it, hover over their base, and it will clear out the area and let you see what's going on. It won't clear out a big radius, though. I mean, it cleans out a decent size, but not too big, so you only get a little small area to see for a short period of time. Orca Strike, you don't get that unless you end up building a air. Yeah, you can see he has an army built up. But anyways, you can see he has an airfield. The airfield is what causes this. The Orca Strike is basically just an airstrike. They come in, 3 airplanes come in and drop bombs to do decent sized damage to structures, or you can have them do it to units. The units are, I'm pretty sure they take a good size, infantry wise takes a good size damage. I know definitely on vehicles,
Enemy unit
depending
sighted.
on the vehicle. They have different defense structures than nods. They have watchtowers. It's basically these right here. They have machine guns on them. They're highly good against infantry. They're like the shredder turrets, but different. Then they got guardian cannons, and guardian cannons are these little buggers right here, and they are good against vehicles, enemy vehicles. They do decent damage. I wouldn't say too bad of damage. Now, if you have more than one, then yeah, you're looking for decent damage. See, you can see right there. For example, for the decoy army, you can see that where they just disappeared. But they didn't. That wasn't even a true army. That was that decoy army that NOD can do. And then there's the radar jammer. It will show a little timer for GDI or whoever you're playing against when it'll come back on. 3, 2, 1, and the radar is back on for GDI. But yeah, the Guardian cannon is good for vehicles. Another thing, also, while I'm on the subject for defense bases, all factions is the same. They all detect stealth. So if any kind of stealth units gets near them, they automatically are revealed and attacked upon. AA batteries are against aircrafts. Of course, you got their silos, which of course increases your maximum reserve, so that way you can have a lot more income under the belt.
Missile squad ready for combat.
Instead of obelisks of light, they have sonic emitters. Now, what sonic emitters do is they're very strong against vehicles. The reason I say that is they do massive damage. They can kill infantry just as well, but they're really strong against vehicles. They can probably take down their own in a matter of seconds. Their special, their super weapon, of course, was the ion cannon I was talking about. It does a big blast. It's almost about the size of about the same size of the nuke, and it does massive damage. And then there's surveyors. I'm pretty sure I done went over their units. Yeah, that's about it. Other than that, it's I think we're all good.
Silos needed.
I'll rebuild this back to spectator, and I'll basically get with the gameplay and explain how I did stuff. You can see here I'll send down some men. I think at the time that was, there's 5, 9, 10 avatars fully upgraded with flamethrowers and stuff. And then I had some mines here. What it was, at that time I was trying to defend this right here. Because I didn't want my dad coming across that bridge and attacking. Then I also took out this bridge here because of the Tiberian spike. I was earning money from it. I didn't want to lose that income. Infantry, I like mixing them in with my vehicles, so that way I have best of both worlds. If my vehicles ain't gonna get them, I know my infantry will. Or if my infantry fails, my vehicles will get them. It's kind of like a back and forth thing there. Of course, you can see I increased my venoms here. I got a little bit of silos over here now with this collecting. Then of course I got still one harvester up here. Him on the other hand, he has a freaking army with a refinery here, 2 refineries here, and all 3 of them come down here to pack up this stuff. And he has a mixture of rocket units, it looks like, riflemen, let's see here. Ooh. Is it just riflemen and rocket units? If so, that's pretty interesting. I thought he would at least went with grenadiers, because just in case if I decide to garrison in any buildings. You can see he's starting to move some men around. Of course, he has some mammoth tanks down here with predator tanks. And here's the structures I was talking about you can clear out. Ah, he does have grenadiers. So if I wanted to clear these out, I would have to rather use my flame tank or the Black Hand infantry. And seeing that how they're grenadiers and infantry in both of these, I say the best bet if the tanks weren't there was be flame tanks. That or use my upgraded avatars, because they can usually take good size of hits. When it comes to base building, I do recommend try to stay in the area where it spawns you in until you get a hang of things. And then when you get a hang of things, I like watching I can't think of his name at the moment, but there's a guy on YouTube I watch. He goes through gameplays and all sorts of other stuff over Command and Conquer 3 games. I think it's King's Wrath he does the replays of, and Red Alert and stuff like that. But he'll show replays like this and explain to everybody and go to introductions, and I've seen people move their MCVs, move closer to the enemy. I'll be all over the place. I've seen epic things. If I ever think of his name, I maybe throw his name into the description. So that way you guys can go check him out. But yeah. He has an army down there building. At the moment, I don't think I'm building attack bikes. Well, I built a attack bike, and I have a rocket unit here for some odd reason I didn't see. Oh, I know why. At this time, I also wanted a little bit more vehicles to back it up, so I have some Venoms over here. Now, I think that's 5, 9, 13 Venoms with 4 Predator tanks. I think I built only 3 attack bikes, and I think 2 buggies are supposed to shoot out here. Let's see here. I've already upgraded everything, which you can see they're faded. They would have been normally lit up. Shoot. No. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Let's make sure. I just wanted to double check so that way you guys know. Yeah. See, I've already bought them, or they would have been lit up with a reddish light. Right now, for the longest time, nothing really happened. It was like a standstill. Because I had nothing really to do. I mean, don't get me wrong, you got plenty to do. You can attack your enemy and everything else. But at that time, I didn't see the difference between GDI's and NOD's forces. If I took everything I had right now and attacked his base, I would lose, because GDI vehicles and infantry are way stronger than NOD's. That even goes for the avatars. An avatar versus a mammoth tank wins, hands down. I mean, yeah, it's going to take a good amount of damage, but mammoth tank will win. That's the reason I said their units are a little stronger than, or way stronger than NOD's, in a way. Scran, on the other hand, I don't know about their units compared to GDI's. I know they're really strong in air units, because they have I can't think of the name or say them right, so I'm not even going to try. You can see he built some defense turrets over here, if I didn't already declare that. He got some sonic emitters with watchtowers. Got a good amount of mammoth tanks, and there's the juggernauts I was talking about. Get a closer look on them for you. They have 2 legs, 3 barrels, and right here's the cockpit. And yeah, these are the GDI units I was talking about that are a pain in the butt that you need to focus on, because if you let them go and they do continue attacking your base or your units, they will destroy them. They do, like I say, they do massive damage, especially towards vehicles and structures. Looks like he's garrisoned some more troops into these. Riflemen in both of them. Of course, he has garrisoned in here. 1 rifleman with 2 missile squads. Same for that one. Other than that, doesn't look like it's too much. Of course, here's my little setup for that, and then these over here. Now, if there's any questions you guys do have that I did not go in depth good enough for you guys, like for example, if you wanted to know what the abilities did, like in more in depth, like say if I went over it and you didn't fully explain it, let me know down in the comments below and I can try to help you. I'll at least try to respond and let you know, or go in more description on them. Or if I go to do a screen video so I can show you their units and structures, I'll explain it in it. It's one of the two, but I'll make sure I get back with you and let you know if you have any questions. Like I say, just let me know in the comments below and I will answer them. I will try to help you out, especially for people that hasn't played the game before. Let's see here. Nothing's going on over here. I don't think he really moved much. I think it's just where he's building units out of control. And see, that's the thing. You see where he's gathering out of here and here? Normally for a Tiberian field, I only try to get about 2 harvesters attacking it, but you can clearly see I only have 2 attacking this, and there's still plenty. And then I have this up here that I still have plenty of. And if I ain't mistaken, we go over, yeah. See, I have, oh, I can't do that. I have 15,800. Well, it's still going up, but I have, might as well say, $16,000. And my dad, on the other hand, he had 13,000. And that's not a big difference in money, but on the other hand, he could have a lot more with more harvesters. Now, the reason I say I only recommend 2 per field is so that way the field don't get completed real super fast. It gives it time to at least somewhat try to grow back. If you are massively amounts of money, and say if this field was empty and this field was empty, if you had this many forces, at that time, I would just sit there, wouldn't touch neither one of those fields. I would have the harvesters sit to the sidelines, of course somewhere guarded and protected.
Unit under attack. Unit under attack.
Oh, you can see he tried to advance over the bridge. Of course, I had my forces here cut from up here to come down. Oh. And you can see where my tanks are getting destroyed by mammoth tanks, which clearly they're no match for advanced tank. He comes in, he's attacking my tower. Now my structures are revealed. He's able to see them. Of course, I came in with rocket men for some reason. I don't know why. You've seen me come in with aircrafts and attack the Tiberium spike. Now the reason is for that. My mindset was I had plenty of money. I have 2 fields of economy which I can gather from, and if I lose that, it's just going to go to his hands, and he's going to be able to collect money off it. And I, of course, don't want that because I don't want my enemy having a steady income. I want to try to prevent that. So I, of course, destroyed it. Then after I saw he was trying to advance, I brought my forces that was up here down here to fight him off. There was my avatars destroying the mammoth tanks, which of course that's why I had them in a group, because like I said earlier, they're no match one-on-one. At least I think so. I could, like I say, my information could be wrong, it could be right. I'm just going by what I know with my best of knowledge. If somebody does end up watching this, end up seeing this and hearing me, and if I do say something wrong, please do correct me. Because on some of this stuff I'm not very certain on. I'm just going by what I think, or at least what I'm at least putting together. You can see where he tried to bring in his aircraft and my Venoms was shooting them. The reason I said they're good against anti-air, and I had rocket men also prepared for that. So he did not leave unscathed with his aircrafts. He did lose a Firehawk, 2 Firehawks to be precise. And now now here's where he's starting to force his army out, because I'm putting pressure on him finally. You can see my avatars back here have pretty good reach. If a unit got close enough, I could show you where they shoot the flamethrowers, but I don't think they get close enough on here. And then of course, moving in after eliminating that, I'm pretty sure my main focus was the mammoth tanks, then the Juggernaut, because could not let that thing live. Like I say, they do massive damage. We can see it already took out 2 of my avatars and destroyed the husk. The husks is what the walkers is, described under the engineers and saboteurs. You can send an engineer into these and capture them for your own, which I'm pretty sure I did not allow to leave if I felt this attack, which I'm pretty sure I did. You can see him bringing in his more of his army that he had pushed into there that I'm trying to clear out. At least that way I don't have, that way if I do another attack I don't have to worry about fighting so much. Ah, there's the flamethrower. And there's the railguns, destroying them. And the Firehawks. And that was the end of that army. After clearing out a good bit, but wasn't much. And then of course you got his refinery took damage with his AA battery. And then more juggernauts coming in. Now I'm pretty, yeah, he's bringing in engineers. He's trying to capture my avatars for himself. If he does, he will have that technology. I'm pretty sure. Did I call in an airstrike or vapor bomb? I'm not too for sure. I think it was airstrike. Give it a second, we'll find out. Because I'm pretty sure I called it in. It's just a matter of fact to wait for it. It looks like a vapor bomb because it's coming in pretty fast. Yeah. No, with mines. Yeah, no, I called it mines. So that's my bad. Yeah, I called it mines. And my mind of thought at that time was, see, normally when I call in mines, and it's usually over my husks, my mind of thought is I don't want them to have my technology. I do not want them to have my avatars. I need to prevent the enemy from having that access. So if he had a chance to gather some avatars to be able to use against me, I could not allow that. I had to stop it. And you can see, of course, he regathered his juggernaut that was sitting there. Of course, if you ever have any kind of vehicles, like for example, your mammoth tank that's sitting over here, bring them up near your war factory, and your war factory will repair them. That's what these little things flying around are. They are repair drones. They repair any kind of damaged vehicles. Same goes with your airfields. They have the same thing, but they do not do vehicles. They do aircrafts only. Infantry. The difference between GDI and NOD. GDI can heal their units while NOD can't. And what I mean by that is if this missile squad was injured in any way, you just hover over the armory, right click, and they would go in and come out fully healed. And more than likely, sometimes, if I ain't mistaken, I think they get ranked up sometimes, depending on the situation. Of course, you can see I'm still working on this field over here. I got my Venoms, which I kept building those. I was trying to keep air units out because that's all I need him to do was attack my power plants, shut these down, and then come in and evade. You can see I'm building some stealth tanks. Stealth tanks, what they're good for is vehicles, like I explained earlier, but they're very, very powerful if they're in a group. So I usually what I use them for is I'll use them to scout around, and if I come across any kind of enemy tanks that I feel like is a threat, I'll use them to take them out real quick and fast and get out of dodge. See, there's more copied units there. I wish I can capture these more often. That way I can give you an example of how they work. Of course, that noise you heard was me taking out the my father's radar, so he wouldn't have his map. Let's see here. Of course, he's still using two harvesters over there, and I think he has the third one over here. Yeah, he has the third one over here collecting this. But nothing really much going on over here. His armor's still sitting there. Over at my base, it's about the same. The only difference is I have more Tiberium than him. That's because I was using the seed Tiberium a lot. Like I say, it's very useful when you're playing as NOD because it allows you to get your money up and build a lot of stealth units, which you really, like I said, that's what NOD revolves around, is stealth, and the way I used them wasn't really stealthy. Of course, you can see I'm building more Venoms. You saw that I lost the Vertigo Bomber, and the reason that was is because of the... When I came down here, and earlier in the match to look when he had that army. He had mammoth tanks lined up through here, and they fired rockets at him and destroyed one of the Virgo bombers. I think it's the AA batteries did a little help in that. I'm not too sure. Of course, the 3 ways I was talking about, you can only get to each other's bases from this little section here, or you can come through this bridge, which links up to over here, or you can come through here, which comes down at the bottom of his base, which of course he has 3 juggernauts, 4 mammoth tanks, and a good amount of infantry units there with 2 engineers here. If you go to call for transport for your units, usually you just click them. I want to go ahead and go through this, that way you guys know this as well. You just click them, there'll be a little airplane icon, it'll say call for transport. They're only $500 a piece per person. So if you're aiming to travel a good amount of troops over, you're gonna have to save up a lot. I'm pretty sure 10 units is $10,000, so it's not really good to try to do in packs. It's nice to try to use, I mean, you can do it in packs if you have the money, but it's good also, say if I want to simply take this over without knowing, say if I was GDI and my dad was NOD, I would pack up however many engineers I wanted, depending on if I want all the structures or not. Come over here, drop them, call an airstrike on this tower, that would disable this, and just boom, one after another, popping the engineers in, taking them over. The refineries, on the other hand, I would wait a second until the harvester is exactly in it, collecting the Tiberium, and while it's collecting it, then enter it, because the reason is, if you enter it while they're in releasing the Tiberium, giving away the money, you collect both. You'll take over the harvester and the refinery, so it gives you a harvester, an additional of the building. If you don't, you're just not going to get the harvester. Let's see here. He's still building mammoth tanks, getting everything repaired. You can clearly see right here, it's where the war factory was working on a mammoth tank. Didn't fully heal it up because he didn't give it time. Don't know why. Sorry, my mouth was getting dry again. Oh, satellite uplink. That's what I was talking about earlier about the zone troopers. Yeah, that's what gives you that in your EMP drops. The EMP, the shockwave artillery, which I call it EMP drops because that's basically what it does. You'll see it in action later in the match. I don't think he uses it soon, but he will. And they do decent damage to structures, depending on what structures, because different structures have different hit points. Like, for example, power plants, if you don't catch them right at the right time when they're called on and repair them, you could lose the structures. They will destroy. War factory, on their hand, no. They'll do decent damage, but it won't destroy it. Same with anything else. I'm pretty sure he'll destroy the barracks though, and the air tower. Let's see here. Oh, you can see I built another refinery. That's where I kind of got more in business with the economy, trying to make sure I have plenty of money to take care of any kind of needs. Which later you'll see, after doing that, this field didn't last long. If anything, this one was the non-ending field. Tiberium spikes, after they're destroyed, of course, Tiberium will grow in that area. Same for if you destroyed a silo, a Tiberium silo, they will sometimes, not all the time, sometimes release the Tiberium crystals. down here at my father's base, you can see he built a rig. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, he just unpacked it. This was what I was talking about. It comes with 2 of the Guardian, I think that's what it's called, Guardian turrets? Yeah, Guardian cannon. It comes with 2 of those, and then anti-air, which is on top of this. You can see it right there. And then these little drones will repair any kind of vehicles that are nearby in its radius. I don't think I can see the radius just by being under spectator. If I go over here, that's weird.
Mammoth tank assembled.
Yeah, that's weird. Oh well. But yeah, it has like a little radius, so that way it's able to repair vehicles that are nearby. Very useful. It's good also for on the defense if you need it. Mainly on vehicle-wise, not infantry. Infantry can wreck that building. Especially if you your enemy gets a engineer and goes in and takes it, comes in, they can take that building over while it's unpacked. If it wasn't packed, then they couldn't. Let's see here. Of course, bridges, they can get destroyed, but you can also repair them. I think I missed this subject, but if you want to repair them, you have to have a engineer. And what you do is you take your engineer and you put it in this little structure here. It's called a bridge gatehouse. You put it in and it repairs the bridge, or fully it repairs the bridge, and if any of the pieces are damaged, if it ain't fully broken, it'll repair them all back to full health. It'll be like a brand new bridge. Of course, nothing really goes on over here. Oh. Henceforth, Tiberium kills units. I try to keep them away from them as possible. And the reason why they're killing my units is because, well, they're not infused with Tiberium yet, which I'm pretty sure I'm doing now. So, earlier when I said I had the upgrades, I apologize. I thought I had the upgrades. It's probably where I wasn't under my thing itself, or if I was, it probably wasn't just going to show me. But yeah, any units that are inside Tiberium will die slowly. Oh, and he just called airstrike onto my airfield and lost all Firehawks but 1. So you can clearly see I lost that in my aircraft and able to build aircraft. You can see here where I was building somewhat of an army going on. Not too big of an army, but a decent sized army. Let's see here. You can see, of course, I got tanks down here building. I have stealth tanks. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 stealth tanks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 Scorpion tanks. 17. It just keeps going up because I'm pretty sure I had a good number of Scorpion tanks building. Because I was planning on doing another attack. And him, of course, I don't have to count because he just has a mad number of tanks and infantry alone. Of course, instead of the little green jars spinning, GDI just gets these extra turbines. Like I say, it just increases the output of the power that the power plants give out. Here's the surveyors. Not very big vehicles, but they do allow you to build in the radius that they're unpacked in. And if you're needing to get them to areas quicker, like say to pass the terrain, you can call transport to pick them up. Don't really looks like much is going on with him. He's just trying to collect money and build up his forces. Anything going on over here yet? Nope. Got movement. You can see I'm starting to move my forces. That's why the reason is because I took my forces, came across this bridge down and over, and started to attack these forces that are here. The reason is because I was trying to get up in here. I was trying to at least enter his base so that way I can destroy some stuff and cause some mayhem, so that way I can somewhat get an advantage in the battle. But it didn't work. His forces was way too strong. The reason why I didn't fully go across the bridge yet is because I was waiting for my infantry and stuff to get over here. And once they got over here, then I moved over for the attack. And the reason is I wanted to make sure all my forces was together before I actually attacked fully. I kind of have a habit of doing that. Of course, you see some Scorpion tanks over here, just stopped. I had an MCV. The reason is because I was bringing the MCV over here. After I fought off these troops, I was going to build like a little mini base, like a little, just a barracks and a war factory over here. So that way I can just non-stop produce troops and attack. But it didn't, but you'll see how that worked out. See, I'm starting to move down the MCV now. Instead of moving by will, instead of being a big bulky truck like GDI's is, theirs of course looks like a spider, which that's what I'm recommending. That's what I'm saying it looks like to me. But yeah. Then here comes the battle between my forces and his again. But instead of avatars, I got stealth tanks and scorpion tanks, riflemen, and rocket squads. I don't think I used the fanatics until later in the game. Of course, you can see right here, my forces alone was trying to fight across. They was struggling because, of course, they was getting piled up. And he destroyed the bridge, which was stopping me from getting my forces over. And you can see I at least wiped out a few of the mammoth tanks. I wiped out 2 there. I think I might wipe out a 3rd. Kind of hard to say with those juggernauts firing upon them. See the reach that I say they have? They could shoot longer, way longer than that. They just didn't have to. See, now I'm still bringing my forces down, which I can clearly see that he broke the bridge, or at least about to see. Yep, I already saw, and I'm about to take an engineer over there to repair the bridge and try to continue my attack. Over here, you can see he was taking damage from radiation from the Tiberium, which of course why I said keep your units out of it unless they're immune to it. And where mine's infused with it, they're immune to it, so I don't have to worry about the damage. And the way to tell is you can see the little tiny radiation smoke around them. Of course, here's my aircraft. It's carrying my saboteur, which will repair the bridge, of course. And inside the building he goes. And the bridge is repaired. Everything's full health again, like I explained earlier on repairing it. And then the last little bit of forces I had there will go in and attack some more. And see, you can tell he has the MCV there, but MCV up here. I don't know what he had plans with it, but I sure wasn't going to let him get away with it, so I targeted it instantly. Then, of course, you can see I destroyed his rig. And you can see the sonic emitters doing their job, picking off my tanks. They do, like I say, massive damage. And then, of course, the watchtowers did the rest with the infantry. And you can see I started building and started unpacking and building what I explained earlier about the barracks and war factory I had plans on doing. But it didn't work out too well because he started pushing his forces forward, which I didn't plan for. And I immediately tried to build, I had riflemen coming out and I think an avatar. I'm not too for sure, but an avatar ain't going to do much against that many mammoth tanks. The only reason I tried to make an avatar is because I needed to at least try to get some kind of strong foothold on the area. And yeah, it just wasn't working. He came in, destroyed it like it was nothing with his army of mammoth tanks. Our riflemen are still coming out like, well, I don't know what like, but they were just coming out. I don't think it'll, yeah, it doesn't show, but you can see the health. That went down. Of course, my MCV is still there, which of course it's not the MCV I started out with. I made another MCV. You can make those as long as, I think it's the tech center you have to be able to start making your making MCVs. But I had it sitting there until I was able to think of a way to handle him. Then I realized he was bringing over an engineer, and I couldn't let him just have my technology. If he was able to take over that MCV, he would have been able to have all my structures, my units, my men, my technology, everything. He'd be able to use my own weapons against me, and I couldn't allow that. So that's why I packed up and just let the mammoth tanks destroy my vehicle. And then I did the can't think of the name of it. Cloaking field. I used the cloaking field to kill off the engineer. I don't think he moved anywhere. Yeah, I don't think he moved anywhere. I think he just, yeah, no, he's just moving his conveyor out here to unpack. Like I say, they're good for that. You can use those, unpack, and what they do is that you can build in this area. I think it's about, it's a good sized circle. I think it's about that big. He'd be able to build in, if I ain't mistaken. But of course I called it an airstrike and took care of that like it was nothing. Which he wasn't too happy about, so he decided to bring his mammoth tanks over. I don't think he went across the bridge, but he did put his mammoth tanks there to take care of any kind of aircraft that decide to interrupt. But I couldn't leave that unattended, so I destroyed the bridge that I repaired. And I didn't just destroy one piece, I destroyed the whole bridge. Let's see here. Let's go up towards the north and see what's going on here. You can see I still have good amount of Tiberium here. Strong economy with 2 refineries. Nothing's changed really. Of course, my Air Force is really packed up a punch. You can see that. I have some shadow teams moving in. Not really going to do much. They're more, I use them more as scouts. Because at least that way I can know what's going on. Let's see here what's going on over here. Yeah, see, I brought them over here. And I call it a catalyst missile. And that's what it does to a Tiberium field. It does that, like a big old storm shockwave, and does good amount of damage. See, didn't do much, but it does do some. If there was infantry units in there, it would have annihilated them. You see, I tried to enter to at least get a little glimpse of his base. Didn't work any. You can see instead of replacing his Firehawks, he decided to put Orcas. And like I say, they can scan for stealth units, or just lay down a sensor pod and just take care of that in general. It'll just detect them on its own. Then he could just call in his Orcas and attack anything that's in that area. It looks like he's moving some forces around. Yeah, it looks like he's moving some forces around. Don't know why. Yeah, he has a good amount of mammoth tanks here. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 mammoth tanks and 1 predator tank over here. Of course he has more than that if you add them all together. You can see he's bringing in some juggernauts. Not very a big fan of fighting against. I do like them though because they're very, very useful. Let's see here. I don't think anything really happened. What's going on up here at the north? Why do I have Reddit? Ah, that's right. I brung a outpost up here, and what I did was I built a barracks and a war factory up here, with also a the disruption tower, which would cloak my buildings. I think I put it behind this structure here, which I'm pretty sure that's what I did. I'm not too for sure. I would have to wait and see, because I'm pretty sure that's where I laid it. I could be wrong. I could have just said forget it and laid it to the side. Nope, I laid it there. Okay, I was right. After doing that, I think I focused straight on, yep, barracks, and then should be war factory popping up here. Yep, there it is, a little further back, but it's there. And I think that's all I did. I think I had men come out of it, being produced out of those. Yeah, here comes some riflemen. Nothing out of the war factory yet. Oh, yep, starting to produce crazy now. Build a tank. A Scorpion tank. Which, of course, right there, I can admit, was a no-no on my part, because that alerted him instantly where I was at. So he would know, so now he knows that I'm at least over here. He doesn't know what's going on, but he does know I do have units over here. So I think, oh, he called an airstrike. And he's attacking my refinery. See, the thing is, I explained it to him. I said, I'm glad that I saw you attacking my refinery. And the reason I said that is because if I didn't have these down here and he managed to block me off from this gets cleared out pretty fast. I don't know why, but this field did. It got cleared out in a matter of no time. Because this has the same amount of harvesters on it, just like the other one does, 2 each. And, yeah, for some odd reason, this one just kept getting cleared out faster than dirt. And this one just seems like it never went out, like it was endless. So, that's why I told him I was kind of glad he was thinking smart about it, because if he would have took this out, put enough forces down here to prevent me from come down here and to collect Annie, oh, I would have been, the battle would have went south immediately. You can see he used the call in for transport. I believe that's for the units, for the 2 riflemen and the rocket launcher guys, rocket squads. You can see I destroyed one of my distribution towers, and the reason is for that is for some odd reason, where I had 2 of them, they was countering each other and making my buildings visible, so they wasn't cloaking them at all. So I had to take one out so that way it'd start cloaking my refinery. Of course, now he knows that I'm up here harvesting Tiberium. Of course he's gonna stop me. That's the reason earlier I said I was glad he was attacking it. Shows right there he was thinking strategy. Because if you have no economy, you can't do nothing. But over in here, you can see I got a pretty good amount of infantry and tanks being produced. Don't know what's going on here. You can see he has some pit bulls built. And they do have the mortar upgrade. He's still over here attacking my my silos. Now, that's the thing about riflemen. They're not very strong against structures. They're actually very weak. Which is of course, because if you fire a gun at a metal structure, it ain't gonna do nothing. It's probably leave a dent in the side for the bullet. Or if it's made out of a type of... Which again also depends on how strong the material is either. Because if it's something not that strong or very easy to cut through or anything like that, usually bullets can go through a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I went through police training and all that good stuff. Went through scenarios. We even had our own little simulator. We would go through police scenarios like hostages. What was that one? Just bar fights and all sorts of other stuff. We even went, like I said, we went through all that good stuff and explained on what you should take cover behind, what you shouldn't, what bullets can go through, what bullets can't. I mean, not really fully in depth in that. Oh, you can see I started to attack here because I gave up the good enough forces to attack. But no, we didn't go fully in depth on that kind of stuff. I'm just saying bullets can go through a lot of stuff. Like I said, it just have to be something very strong and durable that it wouldn't be able to get through. Something real thick, I'd say. I don't know. But anyways, back on the game. You can see I didn't use vehicles, really. I used mainly Scorpion tanks, but even though I didn't have a lot of. At that time, I thought, well, if he has a lot of vehicles, I'll try using infantry against him. Well, that didn't really work against me. If anything, he came up. Pit bulls can detect stealth. That instantly he saw my buildings. He was like, oh, okay, I got you. And you saw I tried to lay down mines here. And he started to attack my buildings where he was able to detect them. Of course, he destroyed that, so I couldn't build any more buildings. He destroyed my war factory, and then he went straight for my cloaking tower where it cloaks my structures and units. Because he was trying to prevent me from having any kind of access to there. Now, I had mines laying down here. You can see I put some forces up here to guard my refinery. Then I realized he sent in an army to try to take care of my refinery. I said, okay, I got you. So I grabbed all of my air units. When did they kick in? Because you can see he starts attacking more heavily and heavier. Yeah, here it is. You can see all my air units just flying in to protect my refinery. Because like I said, if I lost that stand and my refineries were gone, I would have been in a tight situation. I would have probably lost this match, and I say after he took this out, I would have lost in general. Because you could see over here, of course, 2 harvesters, field almost depleted. 2 harvesters, still full filled. Don't make sense. So I'm guessing certain fields have certain regeneration rates, or... yeah, it's the only thing I can think of. But of course you see a Juggernaut here. I planned on making an engineer. Or not making an engineer. It will basically be making an engineer. But anyways, I made an engineer and tried to take it over. If I ain't mistaken, it should be coming out. Because I think I did it right away. Or it took me a little while, one of the two. I know he's down here still taking damage. He's bringing in another Juggernaut. He's ready for another full-on assault. Because he's trying to press hard and fast. Of course, after doing that, he's still taking damage. Oh, he has his rocket squad inside the Tiberium. That's why they're dying from the radiation. I think I did something with this base. I can't remember when I started building base defenses for it. Let's see here. You can see he's starting to build, it looks like another mammoth tank. No, pit bull. He's building pit bulls now. I guess he's trying to get more stealth detecting units because he realized what they're good for. Which of course I'm pretty sure orcas can detect stealth? Question mark? I'm not going to be able to tell because I'm in spectator mode, which I can always switch over and check, but I ain't going to do that for you guys because I don't want you missing a lot of the action. Because I did this mainly to show you a good battle and explain stuff on how different factions are, their units and stuff like that, and how to basically just the whole portfolio. And you can see I started making obelisks of lights here. You'll see them go in action once he performs his assault. I'm pretty sure I laid down one more obelisk of light, 2 laser turrets, and 1 shredder turret. Yeah, there goes the obelisk of light. Of course, you got my aircrafts here, my Venoms. I did make an army to protect this refinery. Normally, I don't make a lot of Venoms unless I want to try to get into the enemy's base to just scout. But seeing on this situation, I made a lot to just protect this alone because I could not afford to lose my refineries. And there's movement down here towards the south, and it looks like he's prepared to do his assault. Of course, he starts in with the aircrafts, which don't last long because the Venoms are pretty decent against anti-air because they're air alone. You can see 2 of the laser turrets are already built. They're attacking my obelisk lights because you can see them firing. They do enormous amounts of damage. And then you can see here with the mammoth tanks. And they're coming in and just annihilating because they already took out one of my towers. And then you got my, it looks like I got a hero rank on my Venom. And they're firing in pretty good. And you can see that artillery fired in and did a lot of damage. That's because of these. The Juggernauts, they do massive, massive damage. That's the reason I said if you ever come across them, take them out. Do not let them live. Now, if you can, and you are fighting GDI, and you have the chance, and you know it's well protected, aim for them. Aim to take the husks, because once you take them over, the vehicle becomes yours, and you're able to take them back to the base, get them repaired, and then you can just use them to annihilate your enemy. Of course, you can't produce any of them, or make any of them, because it ain't in your technology, unless you have their MCV, or at least a MCV of theirs, to make their structures. because then you can make their barracks and war factory and then make their own vehicles. And then you could just use their technology against them, add it on with your technology, which almost makes you pretty decently strong. So, of course, you can see I'm bringing him up here because if you see here on the map, he's moving up. And I did call in an airstrike. I'm pretty sure that's a vapor bomb. Yeah. And they're pretty good just annihilating buildings alone with infantry. And you can see he starts making a push. He starts off with the pit bulls and a little bit of zone troopers and rocket squads, or grenaders, one of the two. You can see my Venom here trying to pick off the tank. I don't know why it was trying to fight it all on its own. Then, of course, it goes down. There's 4 mammoth tanks and 1 Predator tank with a zone trooper here. So he didn't send in a big army for the second assault. But you can see where he was trying to press in and take care of the anti-air. Because he knows if he would have took that out, he can easily come in and just wipe these out and be done. And here comes the rain of fire. And now the mammoth tanks are gone. The only thing he has left is this little troops here and what's back on his home plate, and that is not much. He has 4 pit bulls, some zone troopers, and then all these vehicles down here. And of course, juggernauts, like I said, pain in the butt. And then other than that, that's all he has until he until he starts making more or gets the economy to do so. Because if his money is low enough, then he ain't able to make troops. And of course, you see the pit bull picked up my mines. They're stealth, so any kind of stealth detecting troops or structures will reveal them and be able to destroy them. And you can see where he's starting to move the army up. For the longest time here, I was on the defensive because I didn't have... don't get me wrong, I had the money, but I truly had to try to find a way to not only counter it, fight through all this, and somehow still manage to get inside his base. And like I say, his troops are stronger than mine, so I couldn't really just, you know, walk right through them. And of course, he took out my engineers that was in the airplanes, which didn't take long to destroy because those aircraft ain't really strong. Then you can see my aircraft starting to do some work. There goes a mammoth tank. Over here, I'm pretty sure I'm starting to build, yeah. You can see I'm starting to build some avatars. That way I can have some kind of defense besides aircrafts. And you can see I don't fully have my airplanes in attack mode. I mean, by attack mode, I mean by attacking or fighting back. I just have them on a non-ending loop of patrolling my refinery area. So they'll just attack whatever comes in the line of sight, or their firing range. Be more precise. You can see right there I started eliminating the mammoth tanks as soon as possible. Then I took the Venoms and went straight for his base. And once I went straight for his base, they didn't last long, but I did manage to fight through and do a good amount of damage. Because it made him spend money to build more defensive turrets and men. At that time, I think I had half of the number of Venoms I had. And then you can see right there, I threw in a Tiberium, not a Tiberium, catalyst missile and destroyed a not a harvester, but a refinery. The only reason it was able to destroy it was because where refineries and silos mainly contain Tiberium, it's supposed to cause a chain reaction and destroy any building instantly that revolves around Tiberium, or cause a chain reaction in the Tiberium itself in the fields that does damage to any kind of units that's inside of it. Then of course you can see there my army of Venoms went down after destroying a good amount of portion of his men. You can see right here I started to bring in Vertigo bombers and bombing his Juggernauts. And the reason was that is once I saw they was there, I can't let them live. I have to get rid of them. And the reason that is, like I showed you earlier, they do massive damage. If I would let them live and he use them properly, what you see, the Viper, not Viper. What? Whatever the bomb, it does a massive amount of damage for structure. So it destroyed his war factory, his barracks, and I believe a power plant. So the only thing that leaves him for actual being able to produce would be aircraft, and he can only produce 4 aircraft per building. And then there's a example for the decoy army. It makes a copy of wherever I hover over and then go over and place it wherever on the map I want, as long as the battle fog don't cover it. So say if I had a patch right here I was able to see until it faded into darkness, I could hurry up and place me a decoy army there. Which of course you could see him starting to place down zone troopers down here because they can detect stealth. Let's see here. You don't really have much after that. Of course, I brought in Vertigo bombers here. Of course, I think I came in to take care of these guys. Yeah. There goes one. Another one should be flying in. Yeah, you can see the shadow. Drops off. There goes another. Of course, the war factory is trying to repair it, but it's not going to work because there goes that. And the reason why I fired right in the center is because I wanted to wipe out that husk. Because you can see he's bringing up an engineer, which he has 2 sitting here. So he didn't have to bring up one, he could just slap one in there and be done. I did that to kill the engineers. I wasn't going to let him recapture that husk. And as soon as one of my Virgo bombers was free, I brought it down here to blow up this husk here to prevent him from re-getting it anyways. You can see he finally managed to rebuild the barracks. He still has his refineries here. Up here, it ain't much going on, just collecting money. Over here got pretty empty because I decided to go with a 3rd harvester. I decided to break my rule and at least try to do it, but I had to cancel that because it was taking up too much money. It was clearing it out way too fast. I needed to make sure I had a constant go of money. I couldn't just let it go clear out and then me having to wait for it to regrow. So later I'll end up selling this refinery and taking at least 1 harvester and sending it down towards his base for a suicide run, just to be able to scout out some areas of his base. which you don't get that far. I think it barely gets to the front door. And then you can clearly see I'm starting to make some riflemen stuff to come down and help out. I have me a line of avatars to guard my refinery with my base defenses. I think I have, yeah, you can see another reaction of the Tiberium seed. I'm trying to keep my Tiberium up. So that way I have a constant income of money, so that way I can make more troops, make more men to fight. In this battle, he really loved his pit bulls, which I couldn't blame him because they're good against air and detecting stealth units and buildings. So there wasn't really nothing wrong with that. Hell, if I believe so, I would have done the same thing. But I just I wouldn't go with that many. I would probably went with 4 max, because they're not very strong, but yet I don't see having a big number would help any, unless you're trying to take down anti-air, which I don't really have hardly any because I used all of my venoms to attack his base, which I could have always made more, but I don't think I did. Down here you can see I finally set that. I sent the troops out. I think I brought them down here. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I got the hiccups. You can see I went to go empty out this harvester's Tiberium it collected, so that way it don't go to waste. I didn't want to send it over there for the suicide run, at least scout mission, with all that money in there, because I didn't want to lose it, so I might as well collected it. So now I got it flying over here to go up here to explore a little. And the reason why I was trying to look into his base at that time was because I was wanting to see what he had in here at the time. I wanted to see what was going on. That way I could try to counter it, fight it off, or whatever. See, you can see his zone troopers denied me. They said no. But, yeah. I was trying to see what was going on so that way I could stop him in some way, or at least try to fight back. I wasn't focusing on his economy. I didn't want to ruin his economy in any way or form. And the reason for that is because I wanted a decent battle. I wanted something that to get behind, something that, you know, I'd be able to struggle and have a good time playing. Because if I would have took these out and kept continually doing it, because they're $2,000 a piece, and it would eventually just break him and he wouldn't be able to purchase anything, and it'd just end the battle faster and all get out. So I tried to at least so I tried to not attack the economy. If anything, I tried more towards attacking the forces and fight my way in first. Because if I wanted to, all I had to do is strike a catalyst missile right between here, and it would take out both of these harvesters. Oh, not harvesters, but refineries. Also, if I would have fired one right here between them, it would have took out the silo too. Let's see here. Up north, you can see I'm making more avatars. I don't think I'm making infantry. I could be wrong. Give it a sec. Let me go.
Enemy units sighted.
Yeah, you can see I was making more avatars. Like I say, they're 2,200 a piece, so a lot of money to make. And you can see right here, I was broke.
Our base is under attack.
Hello. Oh yeah, you can see where I tried to I built a harvester over here, or refinery over here, to collect some of this Tiberium, because instead of attacking his economy, his refineries, I decided I'll just collect the Tiberium that's over here. Ain't no big deal. I'll collect the Tiberium, keep him from getting it. Faster way to clear it out. That way at least slack him off some money. Well, if we look over here on him, he only had $1 to his name. So if I would have kept doing what I was doing, it would have worked. But I don't think yeah, see, he stopped me. He destroyed my refinery. Which of course I still have my outpost, so I could just rebuild it. And these four orcas, my bad, are still sitting there, so I don't know if they still have rockets on them or they have to go back to reload. I'm pretty sure, let me see here. Yeah, they carry 5 rockets apiece. Other than that, that's basically what's going on there for right now. I do know later, if everything didn't plan out the way it did, which you'll see, like you say you're watching right now, if it didn't plan out like it did with that Orca strike, I would have probably continued. Yes, I did use my seed Tiberium there, but the only reason is because I just wanted that little extra money, and I didn't see how that would hurt. Of course, nothing really goes on for a little while. It's pretty peaceful. He's gathering money, I'm gathering money. We're both broke, which I clearly showed you guys. He's more broke with me, of course. He only had $1. I'm still collecting this, which, like I said, it feels like some Tiberium builds are faster regenerating than others, because you clearly see like 3 patches already started growing by the time it collected 1. Then up here I have all this, so it wasn't a money issue or anything. It was just the more money you have, the more it helps. The more you're able to purchase stuff and build and make an army. Avatars. The reason I didn't upgrade them before sending them over here is because, 1, at the time I was broke, and 2, I had to have something right then on the spot that at least helped defend my base, or at least my refinery area. That way I'd have a way to have a steady income coming in, because like I said earlier, if he would have wiped this out and kept me from it, I wouldn't be able to survive, because my field empty out and I'd just be broke, and I wouldn't be able to fight back, wouldn't be able to repair, wouldn't be able to do nothing. I'd be like a sitting duck. But I did try to at least build more avatars. I do know he was really, my dad was really focused on taking down my refineries. I don't know what time exactly he starts attacking again, because like I said, I think he's still broke. We can check real fast. That's me. Yeah, he's still broke. He only has 500 bucks, while I have a little over 12,000. But the only reason I have a little over 12,000 is because I got 2 harvesters collecting this, and then I got 2 harvesters over here collecting this. You can see I started lining up my avatars here, and the reason was at 4, you can see, well, you can't see because I didn't start doing it yet. You can see more infantry coming out. When am I going to... We'll change that back. You can see I made another tower to camouflage my buildings. You can see this field's finally empty. He does have food, not food. He does have Tiberium up here that he's able to collect. Yeah, there goes my infantry. You can see I'm gathering up. Let's see here. Goes a good bit. Because you see them gathering up. And they just keep pouring out like it's no tomorrow. After doing riflemen, I usually follow it up with rocket squads. But in a way I do it, I try to make sure it's evened out. So if I do 20 riflemen, I'll do about 10 rocket squads. Or if I do 30 riflemen, I'll do 15 rocket squads. I always try to do about half. So I always try to make sure when I go to make my rifle squads, I usually try to make it where they're a certain number so I can half it evenly. That way I can do half of that rocket squads instead of doing 30 rocket squads and 30 riflemen. I'm doing 30 riflemen and 15 rocket squads. That was me taking out his map again, if you're wondering. It buys me some time, so that way if he uses if I'm on the move, he can't see me by the map. He has to actually look for me. Still nothing going on in my base. Let me go down to my dad. You can see he finally got him some more mammoth tanks. Predator tanks with some pit bulls. More predator tanks with pit bulls. Stormtrooper, predator tank, and pit bull. Mammoth tanks. And then he does still have his orcas. Then of course another mammoth tank coming out. Now, the difference between I already lost my train of thought. That usually never happens. I usually know what I'm going to go up on when I'm going straight for it. Oh well, it'll come back to me. But anyways, I did make sure I did good enough army going on here with my avatars. That way, if he does go to attack again, I would have the manpower to at least defend my spot, or at least my refinery base or outpost. I should call it an outpost since it ain't really a base. This would be more like a base. You can see right here, they're not, the blue line tells you how full the harvester is. And you see it's starting to slowly lower, and that the reason is because
Silos needed.
you just heard it,
Enemy
silos are
units
needed.
sighted.
And the reason that is because that's what the silos are for. You have to have the silos to be able to have more money. Without the silos, it tops out at a certain number and then you can't go over unless you build silos. Let's get this back over here, close that out. Go down here, you can see I built some silos. They are camouflaged, I believe. No, only these three buildings up here are camouflaged. So this one, and this one. For some reason that one didn't camouflage, and I don't know why. And you can see over here he destroyed it. Earlier when I said about silos dropping off Tiberium, it did. He also has Tiberium growing here again, that's good. Steady income. And there goes that. Everything's revealed. He's attacking my harvester. Harvester goes down. And now my building. Now, if I ain't mistaken, that was the only thing I had left over here besides that little outpost building, but can't do nothing with that unless I plan on building around it. Yeah, I think that's about it for now. Like I said, I think it got a little bit more peaceful, but not by much. And of course, I still continued collecting money by both of these, and I think he scraped this out and went back over here. Yeah, he managed to get him a third refinery. I didn't see that. Oh, he has some juggernauts here. 4 of them. Like I say, they are a pain. Of course, he drove some. He kept the tanks there. Of course, he spread it out some over here. He mainly focused on mammoth tanks and pit bulls, and the reason that is because the pit bulls detected the stealth, and the mammoth tanks just had the just had the firepower to destroy anything in its way. Let's see here. Yeah, this is only growing out because where he destroyed my silos and my refinery with my harvester. And at the time, they was all carrying Tiberium. Well, this field is gone. It is scraped clean. So that means his harvesters will now come over here, which there's already one over here. Looks like I got some decoy army moving in. Yeah. And that was just the look. And they didn't even go far because of all the firepower he had here. And you see, that's what triggered him to move his army out. I'm guessing he's going to start with an assault. You can see clearly this red beaking, the red blinking light is my aircraft coming in to drop off Viper bomb. And it, like I said, I mainly used it against his infantry at the time. You see the firing range they had. They could do damage, which caused me to say, I can't wait, I have to attack, because he just gave it away that he has juggernauts. So I had all my avatars pitch in to destroy them, as well as with my infantry, which you can see they are taking immense damage. My infantry is falling. I just lost an avatar, 2 avatars. There goes his juggernauts. You see, I tried to get my avatars out of the way, which of course I lost an avatar. I almost lost another one. So together I lost 3 avatars, which I had to try to regain. Of course, I just went ahead and finished off my infantry by going in and trying to soften up some of his vehicles. Oh, instead of recapturing them, I destroyed them. Oh well. And down goes my airplane. And here comes the second wave. And I had no defense at the time because I had to send all my avatars I did have up here to repair. And it does take a while for the advanced tanks to repair, so I had no choice but to just let this happen. I'm pretty sure yeah, they're already gone, so I'm pretty sure I used airstrike to take them out. Yep, there goes my Virgo bombers. Took care of that like it was nothing. And there goes the shockwave artillery, one of the abilities I talked about earlier. They will EMP the defenses, and they will be down and out for a short period of time. And you can see them coming back on now. And you can also see the blinking light. That would be his indicator he called an airstrike. An airstrike or men to come in and land. And it was an airstrike. Then you can see him starting moving his other forces he had because he realized that failed. Those tanks went down. And his base is pretty empty again. Which clearly he still has all this over here that he could attack with, but I don't think he's going to. Something's going on over here. You see he's starting to move some mammoth tanks and stuff over. I'm guessing he's trying to set up another front to attack. You see here, my avatars were done repairing, so I sent them back over here. They're finally They are finally arriving to their destination, so they'll be sitting there for a little bit until my dad demands them to do whatever else he needs them to do, or whatever else he wants them to do. And I didn't mean to say demand, I meant command. I don't know why I said demand. Weird. You can see I dropped some mines off here. Of course, where he don't have stealth detectors or detecting vehicles, he's able to, he won't be able to see them. Of course, I called in another airstrike. I'm pretty sure it's just another Viper bomb. It ain't gonna do nothing. It's mainly meant for infantry. Let's see. Even way, I think he cleared it, but I mainly did it to get rid of those juggernaut husks. Yeah, nothing took a scratch. Now you can see him start rolling in, and here's where the mines kick in. They start doing damage. And you can see I have phonetics and the suicide bomber squads. And they're very useful if you need to destroy a structure or you need to just run in and destroy an army of vehicles. They'll just run in, run up to the vehicle and blow themselves up. Then you can see I brung in my avatars, of course, after they got done repairing. It gave him a good. It gave me a good defense way on that. Then you can see me. You can see where he called in their shockwave artillery and EMP'd some of my structures again, which I'm repairing them all. And then the power kicks back on. Down here ain't really much. The meth tanks are still there. Nothing really going on inside the base. It's pretty empty. I'd say it'll be like that until he gets more money built up. Over here, nothing's really changed. This field's about to be cleared out again. I'm still, of course, building more suicide bombers. I do have a avatar back here, though. Okay, you can see I'm starting to move my avatars. And the reason for that is because I'm about to start upgrading them. And like I said earlier, to upgrade them, you need a flame tank, stealth tank, attack bike, and a beam cannon. Well, you don't need them. You can just add what you want to them and then just be done with it. I just prefer to upgrade everything on them. So that way, if the enemy's using stealth, if you have the attack bike upgrade, it basically detects any kind of stealth vehicles. If you're having a problem with infantry, flame tank will add a flamethrower to your avatar, and so on and so on. There's only 4 vehicles you got upgrades to avatar from, but the problem is when you do go to use that vehicle for the upgrade, it destroys the vehicle itself, but the part of the vehicle does get put onto your avatar. I'll show you that once I start to go upgrade them. Over here you see I got a pretty good army of suicide bombers. Down here at GDI's, or my father's base, he's building some infantry. Not really much about vehicles. Probably because he don't have the money to. He's probably trying to just purchase the cheapest infantry he can at the moment. Which cheapest would be the riflemen, and I think they're only like 200, while the rocket squad is 400. You go up here, of course you still see him gathering up. I don't think I stopped building them for a while. Oh, never mind, I think I'm out of money, so that's why I stopped. You can see he used the radar scan, which of course shows him what's in that area. And that's the noise for the shockwave artillery. And you can see here immediately the damage takes over, and I was repairing immediately once he fired. It almost destroyed my barracks, which you can see there. And then he calls in an airstrike, almost destroys my power plant. Still no vehicles going on, mainly just infantry being built. Right now would have been a great time for me to attack, but I didn't. I was being on the defensive. Because like I said, I was running out of money, he was running out of money. It wasn't a fun time. Because usually when you're out of money, you can't really do nothing but sit there and wait for your harvesters to collect the Tiberium for you. Let's go over here to see if I'm starting to build an attack bike. Don't look like it. I do know I got stealth tanks, so 3 of the avatars I wouldn't have to worry about taking stealth. Yeah, it's not really much. right now. But yeah. I constantly made suicide bombers while I also had avatars to the sidelines. Or fanatics, sorry. I call them suicide bombers because that's what they mainly are. They just go and kill themselves on enemy vehicles and structures and infantry. So I've been calling them that just because that's what they do. But they are actually called fanatics, and the only upgrade you can get for them is the Tiberium infusion, so it lets them travel through Tiberium, so the radiation don't really bother them. You can see I already laid down more mines. I have some shadow teams here. That's their gliders. Like I said, you can click this down arrow, click where you want to land them, they'll land. Then this bomb is an explosive charge. You click on a structure and they'll run up. Instant explosion and does a good amount of damage to structures, so it ain't too bad. You can see he has an army here of infantry. He's about to send in some more mammoth tanks. I don't think he's going to attack yet, but I am going to pause this for a minute and go get me something to drink because my mouth is getting dry again. I think it's mainly because when I'm doing all this talking, but I'm trying to make sure you guys get a full understanding of what's going on and how each team works. So just give me one quick second to go get me a glass of water and I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. I got me a glass of water with ice, and I'm ready to get back into this. So you can easily see that he has a mixture of riflemen and rocket squads, but the only difference is you do have a zone trooper sitting here, so I don't think he involves it, but I could be wrong. But he does have an engineer here. He has two of them, so you can clearly have an idea that he probably plans on breaking through, and as soon as he does, taking over my refinery buildings. That way he can make them his own and earn the money off of them. Over here, you can see I'm still making the fanatics. They are they're not the most useful squads of NOD, but they do help if needed. They're about $700 to make a piece, and I'm just pushing them out left and right. I don't see any attack bike yet, so I don't think... Yeah, I don't think I started upgrading the avatars yet. Oh, we got move it down south. You can clearly see he's starting to push. I tried to land one of these shadow squads, which you can see. I don't think I did yet. But I went ahead and moved my... Yep, there goes the fanatics. You can see them exploding. because all they do is run and on impact explode. And there went that tank. Of course, his mammoth tank started trying to shoot my shadow team out of the sky, which is understandable because where the zone troopers are nearby, they are no longer stealth. Okay, so he's going to retreat for now. So he retreats for now to get more forces. It looks like he's going to bring a whole lot more mammoth tanks to the party. Sorry about that. Let's see here. I do have some scorpion tanks built. You can see that I did move my avatars over a little. Didn't move them over by much. I don't see any production of attack bikes or any kind of sources to upgrade my avatars yet. I mean, of course I can go ahead and upgrade them with the stealth generator, but there ain't no point in them being stealth. I'd rather see them with the flame thrower and the second legendary laser. You can see he sent a rifle squad up here and garrisoned inside this little I wouldn't call it a house, more like just a building, a hangar maybe. Because it just says garrisoned house, if I'm mistaken. Yeah. You can see he's starting to bring up 5 mammoth tanks. Starting to move them through. Down here ain't really much action. That field's empty, but he does still have this, and now he has a second airfield. He has an airfield of orcas and an airfield of firehawks. So he has best of both worlds there. He's still making mammoth tanks. Oh, and it looks like action's happening up here. He's starting to attack with the 5 he had. He already lost 1, lost 2, lost 3. The other ones are trying to retreat. You can see that I had my avatars keep pushing, and they managed to destroy the rest of them. And I'm pretty sure I went ahead and had them destroy this garrison structure. That way they're out and gone. And I definitely know I might have sent some of them back up to base. That way they can get repaired. I should have built a war factory down here so that way it can just get repaired on site. But I didn't. Nor did I want to take the chance of blocking the refinery from the harvesters, nor would I want to make it a pain and a half to do all that. Yeah, they're just going up to get repaired. I guess I sent them all. You can see I started making riflemen again. Like I say, I usually try to go at I think it's like an even number, if I'm mistaken, or an odd number, so that way I can go straight in half with it. So that way I take, so like I explained earlier, 30 riflemen, and then I do 15 rocket squads. So I'd always do the rocket squads half of the original number I did for the riflemen. And clearly there ain't nothing here, so I had nothing to worry about to fire at him because I took out the juggernauts. And we look down here at his base. He's just making more mammoth tanks, but looks like he's about to move the orcas. Let's find out what he plans on doing with them. And the firehawks. Okay. So he's moving the firehawks up. You can clearly see he's moving them slowly, so that way he can keep an eye out for any type of anti-air, which you can see I've already started building because I had an idea that he was going to start that. And he immediately went focusing on my army I had built here of soldiers. Let me get a drink of water real fast. You see over in my base, I had the avatars already looked like they were repaired. I don't think. Where'd he hit at? Oh, okay. He shockwave artillery on my infantry. It shut down my harvester, which of course I explained in the shockwave artillery. It's just EMP drops, and it'll disable any kind of enemy vehicle or structure, but it will also disable yours too if yours is in the crossfire. So that's always good to remember. It looks like I moved the Scorpion tanks up, and the reason that is why I got them upgraded. They no longer shoot regular bullets, they shoot lasers. Unlike his with the railgun, I have, of course, lasers, but railguns apparently do, the railguns do, it ain't the railguns I'm wanting to talk about. It's, GDI's vehicles usually tend to have more hit points than anything. They usually tend to be stronger than what my, what NOD's vehicles are. You can see he started to build him up a little attack force again. He already has 7 mammoth tanks. One, looks like 3 rocket squads, 2 engineers, and a zone trooper. It looks like he's about to add a rifle squad to it. And I'm not seeing the orcas. What'd he do? Oh, there's the orcas. And you can see I started to upgrade my avatars, which I was cut in the middle of the process of. So you can see me setting it back up to base to get repaired. So I'm sending it back to the war factory. That way, the war factory will repair it and be done and over with. I believe I made another attack bike to just go ahead and continue the process. I don't think I did, but I want to say I did. Yeah, there's the attack bike. Yeah, and that's what I did. Okay. See, you can see where it took the part from the attack bike. So now it can detect stealth units and stealth structures. And you see it taking the flame tank's flamethrower. Next will be the secondary laser and the stealth generator. So now it's stealth, and now it's a fully upgraded avatar. Firehawks. What are they? Okay, so he's sweeping in the Firehawks. He's looking around to make sure I don't have any anti-air nearby. And he takes out a power plant, which you can clearly see that I'm more likely whenever I lose a power plant, I try to replace it. It's always best to make sure you have power plants. And also replace them, especially if you have any extras to keep your power in the green. Even if you do lose one, it's always best to repair it, because you never know what's going to happen. He can call in, your enemy could call in an airstrike or whatever and destroy even more of your power plants, causing you to go into low power and all your defenses and stuff shutting down. You can see I've already made another beam cannon and flame tank. Here he comes in with another attack. He destroyed that attack bike. Of course, you can see he has more mammoth tanks. He called in a EMP, not EMP. I don't know why I want to keep calling it EMP. It's about the same thing, but it's called shockwave artillery. And you can see immediately after I saw that light flash, and I knew he called an airstrike, so I tried to get my avatars out of the way. You can see I started making more riflemen. Oh, I must have only made one then. Or no, that must have been from my 2 power plants I sold. My bad. You can see the harvesters just got done. You can see him start. I started moving my avatar over to the side a little. You can see that in my one avatar I was trying to upgrade earlier, but the Orcus got a hold of. Finally got repaired, so I'm bringing it back to get it fully upgraded to add in with the one avatar I already have fully upgraded. Eventually I'll have them all upgraded if everything runs smoothly. You can see I'm starting to move in airstrike with my vertigo bombers because usually I try to take out important structures to help me out. Like for example, right there, I just took out his airfield that destroyed 2 orcas and 2 firehawks. That would only leave this one airfield, which you can see I immediately called an airstrike on. And it didn't get far. And you can see him flying in. Of course he cannot see that avatar, it's stealth. But other than that, he did not get out there unscathed. 2 of his firehawks almost got killed and 1 did. So he only has 3 firehawks now. He does have right here I called in I'm sorry I missed it, but I called in a callus missile and it destroyed the 2 harvesters that was there. Now he don't have a refinery to build collect the money. I know earlier I said that I focused on not doing it, but at this point I said I thought I needed to do something, because if I didn't, it wasn't going to stop him from attacking. He was just going to keep coming. Example A, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mammoth tanks, zone trooper, 2, 3, 4 rocket squads, and 1 engineer, with a predator tank. And you can see why I brought in my tanks trying to stop him, which somewhat worked because I took up the zone troopers, and then I brought in mines to take care and weaken some of the mammoth tanks, which did some work. And there went that one, and you can see damage starts being done to this one. And now it's gone, and you can see right here you just have a rocket squad fight going on, which neither one of them does hardly anything to each other. They're just sitting there until keeps firing on to each other until someone eventually dies. He almost had a hero rank rocket squad. You can see he decided to say screw it and move his mammoth tank up to try to take care of my rocket squad. And it looks like he's just moving 4 tanks for right now with a engineer. You see I did a copy of my men, and immediately I grabbed a hold of them because I already knew about this down here. I was trying to use them as what the name preserves, decoys. That way his men would fire at the decoys while my actual ones go firing onto the actual men itself. And right here you can see him just opening fire non-stop. But then, of course, as soon as I seen he brought in more mammoth tanks, I backed up some, or at least retreated for now. That way, I don't end up losing any of my avatars, because if I would have lost them, I would have had a hard time trying to replace them because, like I said, they're 2,200 and it usually takes a good while for them to be built. You can see he called in an airstrike. There it is. And then all my anti-air will shoot at it. I'm pretty sure I started repairing stuff. Down here, my dad didn't really do much. These men are still sitting here. He is trying to get his forces back up. He did finally replace his refinery. It's over here now, away from the entrances. But the problem is now he has one refinery and like four, I want to say four harvesters. So if one is collected, you know, given the Tiberium to increase his money, the heirs have to wait until the heir one's done. What's going on up there? It looks like he's attacking my mines. So I'm guessing he's trying to get prepared for a assault, which I'm pretty sure I just called in a vapor bomb to help take out the zone troopers. But with progress, no prevail. All I managed to do was take out the engineer, which still wasn't a bad loss because even if he busts through, that at least prevent him from taking over my buildings or any kind of avatar husks. Don't know why that took me so long and hard to say it, but yeah, avatar husks. Of course, more mammoth tanks, firehawks. Firehawks, on their hand, I think they're low on ammunition because they did help out with the mines. I'm pretty sure they only get one set of bombs, so they do need to get back, need to go back to get reloaded, which don't look like it's what he's doing. And he just lost the firehawk, and I almost lost the other two. And here comes the army, which of course I I can't pronounce the word. I counterattacked with my avatars. You can see he finally managed to take out one of my obelisks of light. Actually, he took out two of them. So instead of pulling out little by little to repair my avatars, I just said, forget it. I lose him, I lose him. I had to stop him in his tracks, or I would have lost everything. Then you can see I started replacing what he destroyed. I'm not seeing any other movement on the map. Of course, you can see instead of two, I have 3 fully upgraded avatars now. I have an attack bike, so 4 fully upgraded avatars, my bad. And then I started to making more attack bikes and stuff to upgrade the other 5. Looks like he finally got him another refinery. Yeah, he got another refinery. That's about it. Nothing else really changed. Same amount of forces. Besides the harvesters, they're still fighting over the building or buildings. But that'll happen. Especially if you have that many in one building just to deposit all the Tiberium into to make your money. You can see you finally got him another mammoth tank. He's building rocket squads. You can see that he's more likely focusing on anti-vehicle to take out my avatars, because at that time I didn't focus on defending with anything else but the avatars. You can realize every time I fully upgrade them, my avatars, I would take them up here to the war factory and get them, make sure they're fully repaired. Of course, you can see I'm also replacing my mines, which is very helpful, because if, like I said earlier, somewhere around, I'm not too far or sure how far in the video, I talked about how they're useful because they're stealth and they usually take care of enemy vehicles and units that walks over them, because they'll explode and do good amount of damage. Let's see here. He's starting to build more mammoth tanks. That ain't too bad. He never did replace his Firehawks, which I don't think he's focused worried about that. I think he's more worried about his land troops than anything, because he knows where I got the anti-air guns, or my SAM turrets. Other than that, there ain't really much happening besides building troops back up. I know over here I'm still upgrading. That's why I'm making out of here, which I have 2 right here already done and fully upgraded. Then of course I'm trying to clear out this field again. I do have mines all the way through here. They've been there since the beginning of the game, at least when I was able to start laying them down, because I didn't know if he was going to try to cross this bridge or this one over here to come over there. That's why I put mines here as well. So now seeing that, I could have probably saved the money and put the mines over here. And he has Firehawks going in, which are more likely going to get shot down. Yeah, they got shot down. Of course, they ain't going to get away unattended. They did end up destroying one of my power plants. You can see I'm still upgrading. That only leaves one more avatar to upgrade, and then all the avatars I had would be fully upgraded and ready to go with stealth and flamethrowers and a secondary cannon. Over here, there's only a rifle squad sitting there. You got a rifle squad sitting here. He did make him a decent sized army again. I'm guessing he's about to try to attack. You can see right there he don't have any air vehicles, no orcas, no firehawks, and also another indicator to show you that he don't, whenever he does have a aircraft, a orca or a firehawk, these little domes where they're supposed to be sitting at close every time whenever his vehicle his air vehicles get destroyed. They'll close up and then he'll just repurchase and they'll reopen up with it there. My NOD ones, on the other hand, these platforms will lower and raise. So if they're raised, they have, of course, I have an aircraft for them. If they lower, then no, the vehicle got destroyed. But you can see here, I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fully upgraded avatars. And they kind of come into play, and they was really useful. Right now, I think I just have them sitting to the side until afterwards. What's going on? All right, you see, I'm starting moving them. I'm lining up them up over here, and every time you see the little warps right there, when they go into standby mode, they immediately go stealth. So if my father would fly an aircraft over them, he would not see them. He cannot see them at all because they're my vehicles and when they're stealth. Now, if he had something that detects stealth, yeah, he'd be able to see them clear as day and attack them immediately because the stealth doesn't work if they're detected. You can see he has a little bit more men out here spread it out with mammoth tanks. His base is pretty empty besides the harvesters fighting over the buildings still. He does still have 4 mammoth tanks and a pit bull down here. Over here you can see I'm starting to make riflemen and scorpion tanks. I can't remember why, but I'm pretty sure it's for extra defense. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just non-stop making riflemen, which you can see that. And scorpion tanks. I don't think he's doing anything. I think he's just making forces right now and gathering them up down here at the bottom of the hill. Down here. So, I mean, he does have a pretty good amount of forces down here. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mammoth tanks, it looks like. And a good amount of riflemen and rocket squads. Let's see here. You can see I'm still moving my men through. Ain't nothing really new besides the forces making. You can see another scorpion tank come from here. Normally if you make men, they usually like to spread out. They don't usually like to huddle up all on to each other, so that's kind of cool. If you can't tell, I'm kind of losing stuff to talk about because I kind of went over everything, and here it is. Forces are being made and stuff, and ain't really nothing to talk about. I definitely do know if I was him, I would have gotten rid of some of those harvesters. I don't care if he had to use them for scouts. You can see he's been keeping this pretty empty and dry. Then over here, it's hardly any. So soon he'll be out of Tiberium in general. Let's see here. I believe at this point I started making stealth tanks. Yeah. I think I made 5? 4? No, I think I made around the 10s. I think I maybe made 13. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. But I do know I made a good amount of stealth tanks. And it just keeps continuing with riflemen. Because I thought well, alright, riflemen are done. rocket squads are done. Let me go ahead and make some more riflemen. It helps out. You can see he's making more forces. He does tend to focus mainly on his mammoth tanks and riflemen, but if had to, he should throw in some juggernaut knots to soften up the blow on a lot of stuff. Do some long range shooting. You can see he has some grenaders right here. He ain't using. He's just having them sit there. As long as with these few little men that's over here. Then you got my army up here that's being built. Oh, apparently he started to attack, so I used a vapor bomb. Don't know why I have a problem with that word. And it cleared out some of the infantry. Then as soon as I saw that, of course I grabbed everybody. At least thought I did. But he ain't moving, so... Yeah, no, you can see where he started moving up, so then I grabbed everybody and moved them forward. Now, right at this point, I do apologize on what you're seeing. It is a little glitchy, but that's because of... Actually, no, I don't think it was because of this. I think it was because of the anti-air, so if anything, it ran smoothly. Yeah, no, it didn't run. No, I don't know. I can't tell. Because I know at some point in the gameplay we was playing, it was so intense, it was trying to process what was happening. Because he had an army, I had an army, and... But I think that was mainly because of my aircraft. But I ain't too for sure. But everything looks like it's running okay, so I'm not really gonna say that it picked that up, because it looks like it's pretty good. But after doing all of that, you can see I tried to pull out my avatars because I wasn't going to send them. I was going to send everything else to go on straight for the attack, because you can see it's a straight shot, nothing in the way. But down here I got whatever's inside the base, and that looks like about it, just whatever's inside the base. And there it goes. You can see I start slowly pulling out the other avatars that didn't want to listen. Of course, you can see right here, one of my fully upgraded avatars did fall. Oh, and you can see he's starting to send a another army. So I sent everything I had but the avatars, because there wasn't really, I didn't want to lose them. And at that point I was trying to get them to a hero rank, because like I say, hero rank infantry or vehicles are pretty strong, and they also regenerate health. But you can see where he tried to push his tanks up to run over my men, which he succeeded on some part in running over them. So they don't really last that long. Then you saw I called in mines to throw on top of the tanks, and of course he did lose 2 manlift tanks. Not a big win, but it's a win in my book. Then he just finishes it up and cleans up the rest of my men here. You see, he's trying to retreat back to his base because most of his avatar, not avatars, that's mine. His mammoth tanks took a lot of damage, especially this one. It's about to die, so if he would get all these back to his war factory like he's doing now, he can get them repaired and fixed up and they'd be good to go. Me, on the other hand, my avatars are just getting patched up. I do believe, yeah, I came over here and grabbed my avatar before it decayed and got destroyed. So I should have 9 again up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. Now you can see after they're fully repaired, I didn't really mess with them as much. The main thing I focused on making other forces to be able to fight. There is movement coming down towards his base. It looks like he's just moving some men over. I see, you still don't have any aircrafts right in here. You see, I finally moved my avatars over here, and I'm starting to make some venoms. Right here, I laid down some more mines. I did that so that way, if anything would cross them, they'd explode, or give me some kind of notification that, hey, he's destroying my mines, because usually it'd tell me. Looks like infantry production has stopped. Oh, there it goes again. Never mind, my bad. But it does look like I was making more venoms. Sorry about that. I haven't had no sleep yet, and it's 7:32 in the morning right now where I live. But anyways, it looks like I just continued on making venoms, and with that, it don't get me wrong, venoms ain't bad or nothing, but they do come in handy taking out infantry and anti-air. So that's why I had them thrown into the mix to help out with the rocket men. Right here, these are decoyed army. I did that so that way I can have this little circle open up. They can't attack nothing. I mean, yeah, they can fire upon something, but they ain't gonna do nothing to them because of where they're not even the real thing. After a while, they will disappear, though. Yep, see, gone. Let's see here. Now you can see I'm starting to make rocket squads. Down here, you can see he's starting to mix it up a little. Now he's starting to make grenaders and mammoth tanks and some predator tanks. With the tanks didn't really change anything. He's been making those. If it comes to anything else, it was the grenaders that really changed it up, because he decided to switch out the riflemen for those. And it looks like he's starting to push in once he gets around here, of course. Yep, see, you can see where I landed there. And of course, after destroying my mines, I'm pretty sure he discovers my my other shadow team. But I called in that vapor bomb mainly just to take out some infantry. Of course, after that notification of him attacking, I know that he's attacking. So I grab everything I have and start attacking again. I don't think I grabbed everything. I think my avatars stay. I think I mainly just used my infantry. Yeah, it looks like just infantry and venoms. And it looks like they're doing pretty good. That's always good to see. So you see I stopped right here and then started focusing on my way back towards his base because I was going to try to invade it. Be the perfect time because he had nothing to defend with. And of course you can see he tried to use the shockwave artillery to kill some of my men to help himself out because he saw clearly I was coming. You can see my shadow team got there before the rest of my men did. Took out a harvester. They started to take out the base's defenses. You can see they started targeting their harvester. It got pretty good at this point, or one side on this point, since he didn't really have much to defend with. Since he was basically broke, he had nothing in this field, nor he had nothing in this field. He did put up a good fight. He did take out a lot of my men. If I'm not mistaken, he does take out the rest of them right here. You can see I take out this harvester here. And then, if I'm not mistaken, he takes out the predator tank, and I don't think that one falls. No, it barely survives with a hair. But after that, I used the catalyst missile to take out this refinery. That only leaves him with one refinery again, and I think only two harvesters. Up here, his harvester, where he don't have any, tried to come up and take some of this Tiberium, which I have my base defenses that would defend any kind of intruders. So of course they fired upon him at his harvester and killed it. you can see where my avatars are starting to move. I selected them. I'm about to start my second assault onto my father's base to finish him off. I believe? No? No, it looks like I just stopped right there. Yeah, looks like I just stopped right there. Looks like this avatar. So I take that back. I didn't do a second assault to finish him off. Looks like if anything, I just parked him a little closer to the edge. That way I'd have him. And then drop off mines here. Let's see here. Oh, something else moving. Nope, maybe I do a second assault. With 3, 6, 9 avatars. Fully upgraded ones, reminder. And I think, yeah, one of them's almost a hero rank, and that's dangerous because just the avatar alone, a hero rank can take out, do a lot of damage. No? Apparently I don't do a second assault. Apparently I just park there. Which I could be wrong again. I'm not too for sure. Like I say, I don't know if it was this one and I just waited a little bit, or if it was something else I did. But I definitely know there ain't nothing else going on if I ain't mistaken. I know he's trying to scrape money and get by. Especially after what I did. And then him not, and then his refineries, his not refineries, his Tiberium fields wasn't regrowing. I mean, yeah, not that they wasn't regrowing, they do regrow, it's just they wasn't regrowing fast enough. Looks like he managed to finally get some more Predator tanks. He does have this going on here. Looks like I got some Vertigo bombers moving in. Oh, yeah, that's right. I go in and attack his, tech center. No, I don't. Never mind, my bad. That's the next, okay. That's my bad. I took out his, uplink building. So that'll prevent him from using, shockwave artillery to, EMP, to disable my vehicles and my structures. You can see that he finally got him another refinery. He built this one further away, hoping that I wouldn't be able to see it or notice it, but I did when I came in to destroy the uplink. You can see he got more grenaders coming up here. He only has a total of 5 Predator tanks, but that's only because he's a little broke. He does have some Tiberium finally growing in down here. Of course, I'm still good on that, good on Tiberium. The only forces at the time I see that I have, if it ain't my Vertigo bombers, it's my, my avatars. So that ain't too bad. But you can clearly see right in here, the one of the houses are gone, and one of them is badly injured. Reason of that for is I used a vapor bomb to clear that little area out, at least help me out some. I made a decoy copy of that my upgraded avatars, which ain't gonna last long. They have hardly any kind of health. Mainly just to go in to see what I can find. And you can see where they try to attack, but nothing really happens. There ain't no damage. Ain't nothing. That's only because where they're decoys. You can see he's trying to bring his infantry back up. You can see where I used another catalyst missile to wipe out his refinery that's over here. So the only refinery he has left is this one up here. And it alone ain't going to be able to support 3, it looks like. I don't know, it might be able to, as long as they keep spread it out. Yeah, ain't much going on over here. You go to mine, it's not much happening either besides Tiberium being collected and stuff like that. Over here, you see I'm starting to move my avatars. Starting to back away. Let's see here. So after parking those, I don't think I move them much. I mean, clearly you can see also they're reactivating their stealth, so that way if my father would try to look for him, he couldn't, unless he had something to detect stealth. Let's see here. He's not really doing much at the moment. Like I say, he might still be low on money. That ain't no big deal. It happens, especially if you get in a tight pickle like what he's in. That harvester does look like it needs to be repaired. It looks like he's trying to make some more pit bulls and stuff. Can't blame him there. I did take out some of his AA batteries. So his anti-air is a little weakened now. I'm going to get fit here, and I'm guessing he's sitting here trying to gather up some more money before he fully does anything. Because like I say, he has to be low on money. It looks like he's building some more tanks at the moment. Yeah, Predator tanks. So at least that's not a bad sign. He's at least trying to get his forces back up. Over here, still going hard and strong. He did manage to replace that refinery field I did destroy. But now that puts him up to, I'm pretty sure, 4 harvesters, back up to the same amount he was stuck at. Then of course I still got my sweet old avatars here. I started making stealth tanks and avatars again because I was trying to make increase my army size over here. I think I was increasing it by 9 or 5, one of the two. But I did it over here because of the flame tanks. Whenever you go to get the flamethrower part off of them, the explosion does damage to nearby structures and enemies. So the reason I did it over there is so that way if it does the damage to the SAM turrets, I can always just fix them by repairing them because it don't cost that much. So I kind of thought that through. The Tiberium, if it took damage and anything, I'm not worried about it. It'll just regrow. So it's kind of replaceable. Down here on the other hand, on his base, it looks like he finally got his uplink station back. And he's starting to get his army built back up. At least trying to, anyways. Let's see here. You can see I'm starting to make more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can see I already have 11 avatars. Fully upgraded ones. And at this time, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This is my money. I had 13,000 at the time, so that's why I was able to make all the avatars I could. Him, on the other hand, he only has 600 bucks. He was stuck with just making predator tanks and infantry at the moment. Let's see here.
Building. Insufficient funds.
Let's see here. Other than that, it looks like that's all he's able to do, because he doesn't. Oh, he managed to build him a mammoth tank. He's finally able to. He finally was able to get one back on the field, and it looks like he's trying to build some defenses. Over here, looks like I'm still got my avatars upgrading and building. Looks like I already have 12 avatars and 13 avatars. That makes 14 once it fully gets upgraded. He finally managed to get him another mammoth tank, it looks like. We really don't have much of anything else besides that little bit of forces there. So if they got wiped, I say he'd probably be in a tough pickle again. Or no way, at least defend his base. We'll close that. We'll go over here. Check out the other stuff that's going on. You can see that, of course, I still got my army of avatars building and upgrading. I do got a pretty decent sized Tiberium field inside of my base, so if I needed to use it for the extra money, I can. I think that's about it when it comes to that. He finally made him a third mammoth tank, so he's about to get his mammoth tank army built back up. So it's showing right there he's finally getting money, or at least trying. Let's see here. And there's the fourth. So now he has 4 mammoth tanks. And if we go over here to me, I would believe I'm... I don't know what's going on. Oh, the Virgo bombers went in and destroyed the tech center. So now I prevented my dad from being able to make mammoth tanks unless he ends up replacing that building. So now he's just stuck back down to plain old predator tanks. There's another avatar. The reason why I went to build more avatars is that way, if it came down to I had to storm in and attack his base with them, I'd have enough to do it. While that's building and doing that, we'll go over and check out my dad's base, and it looks like he has a looks like he had a harvester that didn't know what in the world was going on. Then it don't, yeah, he managed to replace his tech center. He has some defenses back up and running over here, so that's kind of nice. Looks like he's trying to build another mammoth tank, maybe? Yep. So now he's finally up to 5. So like I say, he's trying to get his army built back up. But in the cost of losing his fields again. They're dry as a desert. I don't believe... Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure I have our avatar coming out of there. Not repairing it? Weird. Alright, so during this point, I must have already got all the avatars I needed because I stopped production. It looks like, oh wait, nope, building something else. Looks like I'm making another avatar. I must have ran out of money then. That's probably what happened. I had to pause the production. But it looks like he's finally gotten up to 7 mammoth tanks, a good amount of predator tanks, and 1 pit bull, it looks like. I don't want to be wrong. 2, 3 pit bulls. And some infantry, so he's trying to get his defenses back up while I'm trying to make me an army of avatars to ruin his day. Looks like he managed to oh, that was me, sorry. It looks like he managed to get him another refinery. So he has 2 there, 1 here. Nothing going on over here or over here because I don't think he even comes near it. Alright, there goes another avatar, and it looks like I'm another one to be about built. I think I made 9 because I'm well sure I'm past 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this one should be the last avatar if I made 9. So that should put exactly 18 avatars. There's that. And after the stealth tank, it'll be a beam cannon. And yeah, that was the last of that. So now I'm up to 18. You see where I grabbed them all. So that would be my army of avatars, and if we go looking down here, you can see that he still has a structure garrisoned with an army that he's finally starting to build up, which could be dangerous because where it's mainly nothing but a good portion of it's mammoth tanks. Looks like I got some more movement, so it looks like I'm making some more riflemen. If so, I'm pretty sure that's all I made was the riflemen. I don't think I made any rocketmen. I don't know. I could be wrong. I wish these hiccups would leave me. Other than that, I believe that's all I made. We go down here to him. He still has nothing in his refineries. He do have infantry and tanks, though, if he does need to be defended. These zone troopers ain't trapped, so I don't know why they're still there. He can just use the jetpack to get them out. He does have one engineer down here by his power plants. Kind of strange. I think it might have came out of his no, he might have just made it and just set it there, because I don't remember ever attacking that area, or at least seeing it in the replay. You can see he finally made a sonic emitter with 2 watchtowers and a guardian cannon. Which, just alone, the sonic emitter would be the pain in the butt to deal with. And it looks like my rifleman infantry is starting to build up, so that's at least a good sign there. And looks like while that's going on, because it looks like it'll be a while, looks like my father ain't doing nothing. Looks like he's just gonna be sitting there for a bit. He is making more infantry, though. Instead of making riflemen, he's making rocket squads. Which, like I say, I can figure he'd be making because he knows about my avatars. Looks like he's moving his engineer. Don't understand why. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what. Oh, he must be going to try to repair this bridge, is what he's doing. Yeah, he's going to go and get killed by the mines. Of course, there's nothing he can do unless he goes over there and destroys it himself, or uses another engineer to do so. You can see here my army of infantry that's somewhat building up and still shooting out by the dozens. And his is about the same. I do believe that he is about to... Oh no, he already made one. Yeah, look, I was about to say about to make another mammoth tank, but it didn't look like the harvester got enough money, not money, but Tiberium to make enough money to be able to make one. Which I don't know, there's this little bit here, so he might have. I do see that he is moving some of his troops up north. I don't know why, unless he's trying to clear them out of the way for the barracks. Me on the other hand, my infantry's getting up there. Still making only oh nope, starting to switch over to rocket men now. Let's see here. I would believe he is still not. Don't look like he's making anything, so he must be truly broke now. Besides what these guys here are collecting, but even though after he collects that, he'll probably end up spending it on more troops to be able to defend his base. Sorry if I'm yawning. I plan on taking care of that after this video. I'm gonna go get me a good sleep in. Looks like he's slowly gathering resources. Not much, but he does have infantry being built here. Haven't seen a vehicle come out of this war factory yet, so I don't think he has enough money to be able to make a vehicle. But I see my infantry army has gotten built up a good amount, so he might have a good time defending this if he can't. Then there's a he's going to end up having a good time, or a bad time, sorry. This bridge is still down and out just because the mines are guarding it. Oh, he's moving some tanks around. He has some infantry making. Other than that, it looks like he's just mainly focusing on the infantry. Ooh, we got moving towards the north. Looks like I'm moving my avatars in. Yep, that's what's happening. My avatars are moving in. Not all of them though. Oh, they're not. Okay, those are the decoys. Okay. Well, after that, after the decoys getting destroyed and seeing that army, I'm pretty sure he's going to attack, or at least try to attack my base, if not spread out more to defend his own. No, it looks like he's going to head back to his base. It don't look like he's going to try to attack at all. He might just try to stay on the defensive like I did for the longest time. Looks like an army's pretty big. Yeah, it's the men here, reason why that map went off like it did, dying from radiation from the Tiberium. Oh, he has some forces moving. Looks like he's taking his his south door out. Oh, and here, got movement from the north. You can see my army starting to move with the avatars, of course, because it's just gonna be one big old assault on my father's base. Yeah, it don't look like he's leaving his base. It looks like he's mainly, it was just removing some stuff around. But he's going to have to do something after he sees this army coming. You can see that building didn't last long. You can see my forces starting to move in. You can see he starts pulling everything he has to trying to move to the north to intercept my attack. Avatar wise, they're still moving in. You can see they're starting to shoot on the tanks itself. You can also see it looks like it's just a full-on blown-out war between my men and his. And you see I have the avatars moving back because instead of them being in with the full assault, they're going to be the second wave. The plan was for them to be back here ready to go if the infantry falls. The infantry was to soften up the armored vehicles. That way the avatars can go in and finish the job. You can see here the amount of tanks are taking a lot of damage and their health is just dropping fast because of all the rockets and the machine gun fire. There goes those. You can see one of my men got a hero rank. Looks like my infantry is just about to fall. They did clear out the biggest portion of his army. It wasn't too big, it wasn't too bad. And then, of course, those men, they just sat there and died-ish. Of course, I still got these avatars here, so... And he still has this tiny amount of infantry. And you can clearly see I immediately went to my avatars and going in for the second wave of attack. And the thing about the avatars, they do have a long range. They don't have to be right up on something to shoot, so clearly you can see that right there. And this is where this should finish him off. You can see where I said screw the lasers, just win and start torching all his men with the flamethrowers. That mammoth tank didn't last long with the army of avatars. You can see I immediately went after his war factory and then his barracks, so now he can't make no men. And then after that, I went after just the closest buildings, and then eventually after the MCB, so that way he could not make no more buildings. That way, that at least prevented him from having to making another barracks or a war factory. And gone. There went the war factory. You can see I destroyed the harvester. you see he's trying to sell stuff to keep power on, and I'm trying to stop him so that way he can't use the shockwave artillery to stop me, which he wouldn't be able to stop me in the first place because I destroyed his whole base. Then you can see I started moving with my avatars and cooking everything alive. You can see he started to sell some of his buildings, at least get some troops. And then after that, they immediately defeated him. And that was a win right there. But yeah, and then right here it shows the stats, shows the structures, resources. So it goes by the graph. This is for the units. You can see he made an incline faster than me. Then after that, I just left him in the dust for the units. Structure wise, it was a little even at first, and then I just skyrocketed on structures. Resources, we stayed pretty even at the beginning, and then I just took off and left on resources. Altogether, the match lasted 3 hours and 46 minutes. But other than that, there's our stats, and yeah, that would be it for this video. If you guys liked it, please hit that like button, leave a comment, and please subscribe. If there was anything that I didn't go into good depth on or you need me to try to explain a little better over on explaining units and stuff, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try my best to get to you as soon as possible. And that would be the end of this video. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.